Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
On target, Jimmy. Bullseye.
Good morning.
My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. Wow, this is good stuff. We have a crazy episode for you. It's packed, jam-packed with crime and stupidity and nudnickery as far as the eye can see.
It'll be a long one.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that quick, but I just want to first thank everyone for this week's amazing outpouring of support. Yeah. You guys this week have really, really been incredible. The last week has been wild. Your donations have been off the charts, amazing. Your iTunes reviews, everything that you guys could possibly do for us, you've been doing for us this week.
It's crazy.
We're honestly, we don't even know what to do. We're like blown away by it. We want to do something and give back. We don't even know what to do. We're blown away by your support. Thank you guys so much for everything. A lot of it, I'm sure, possibly was in reaction to the rant at the end last week. I would like to clarify one thing. That was not about Podcast One. No. So no one think it is, please. No. We were talking about our other podcast, not this one. Podcast One's been wonderful to us. They've been fantastic. Yeah. Treat us like family. We have no complaints.
They give us options on who we want to sponsor our show. Like when they're like, would
nice.
You guys be okay with this? Fucking anything.
Yeah,
give
great.
me anything.
We'll sign them up.
Tell Walmart to eat dicks, but send us anything.
If it's half decent, we won't have advertisers of stuff we don't like.
Right.
Like
if I don't support it, fine.
We've had a couple things we've turned down because we're like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
That's stupid. We're not putting our customers.
Shit about dog walking.
Yeah, exactly. We're not putting our listeners up for that. They're not going to want it. We don't have any interest in it. But whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much. If you have not done it, please get on iTunes. I know it takes 30 seconds. You have to sign in.
Such a pain in the ass.
It can be a pain, but this has taken, God, I can't. This takes days and days to do. So please.
The walk from the car up to the studio, James's eyes aren't even open. Just so you know. He's exhausted.
I haven't slept, and I'm coming down with something. Both my kids have been sick, and now I've got it, and I'm just trying to power through this episode and then and lay down. No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all, Jimmy. We're fighting. That's all it is. We're fighting through this. If you guys, like I said, the iTunes reviews, just give us 5 stars. You don't have to say anything special. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. We don't really care. It doesn't matter. It's not for our ego. It's just for the business end of everything. If that is not enough for you, if you're one of these amazingly awesome people that feels they need to do more.
3 pages of people I have here.
Unbelievable for shout-outs later. You can help us out a little extra by getting on patreon.com/crimeinsports.
You can.
And you can make a donation there. There's some cool rewards. If you want to make a one-time donation, that's possible too.
Yeah.
You can just go to PayPal and you can use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
You betcha.
You can do that there. And God, I can't tell you how much appreciated it is. Like I said, we've been looking for the words and we just don't have them because we're not that smart. But really, really, we do appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
One more thing before we get started. I'm not going to do a disclaimer like we do on Small Town Murder, but there may be. This show is a comedy show that has some. It gets a little blue at times and things like that. You may be offended by something that happens in the show. You may be. You're warned now.
Right.
If you're offended by anything, turn around. It's like the roller coaster. It's his last chance to turn around.
Right.
Take a fucking hike.
You got a heart problem.
Yeah. If I get a fucking tweet from you afterwards saying you were offended by something, I'm gonna light you the fuck up. I don't care. I'm gonna dig into you and lay into you, and so is half our fucking listeners. So if you are offended by shit, take a hike now. We're not interested. Otherwise,
don't give a shit.
Don't care. If you're normal and you just want to hear some funny stuff and some crazy crime and some good jokes and things like that, well, then come on board and have some fun with us. Let's do this and don't be so damn sensitive. Let's do this.
And
Let's
if you
get started.
like comedy like that, come to the Hollywood Improv October 7th at 8 p.m. James and I are opening for Dan Cummins of Time Suck Podcast. He's
Which you
terrific.
should also be listening to, you crazy bastards.
The show is going to be a blast.
It's going to be awesome.
I
We're
can't
going to
wait.
have so much fun. We already have a couple people I know that I emailed with that are driving down from Sacramento all the way to L.A. They're driving 6 hours. Yeah, don't bring Coke. I won't do any. But maybe Jimmy will.
I'm
not
going
sure.
to Hollywood.
Yeah,
I'm trying the
Coke.
Coke.
You do it out.
I'm sure it's garbage.
If I did Coke, everyone would hate me. You don't want me on Coke.
It's going to be bad road Coke.
This is me sober. Imagine me on Coke. I am I did it like twice when I was a teenager, and I'm a mess.
Yeah.
I'm me times 10. It's horrible. No one needs that. Don't bring Coke. No, I need a downer, if anything.
I'm just trying to enjoy myself. That's all.
All right.
I'll get drunk. Whatever.
Let's get started.
Right.
Let's do this. We got a jam-packed episode. Let's get started with our guy today, Riddick Bowe.
Oh, boy.
Hey, everybody out there
Riddick
probably.
Bowe got arrested?
Riddick Bowe had some problems, let's just say.
It's one of the greatest names in boxing history. I've said it before. It sounds fucking amazing.
It does. Sounds like a boxer.
It sounds like the noise that a video game character makes before their like finishing move. Riddick Bowe. You know,
it is.
It's a badass name.
He sounds like it. He looks like it. He acts like it. This is one of our more famous guys. We try to find the people who fall through the cracks, but there are big famous guys that do crazy shit. Yeah. And when they do, we're going to cover them too. We'll do that, but we try to spread them out so they're not so. I don't know. You hear about this stuff, but I like a guy like this, a famous guy who you just said he got arrested,
right?
Because you didn't know.
No,
but it's all out there.
I know he's been
everywhere.
arrested. I don't know for what.
Oh,
so
God,
this is going to be a fun one for me.
He's a total disaster. Let's get started. Right. Riddick Lamont Bowe. He is not a junior.
That's why you had to fight. That middle name sucks.
Oh man, you big dummy. People, especially he grew up. He's born date of birth August 10th, 1967.
Yeesh.
So he's like a little kid in the 70s.
Yeah.
Everyone's called Lamont, you big dummy. Everybody's doing Safford and Son at him. Oh God, it must have been a nightmare.
What a brutal middle name.
Your name isn't Lamont. Go away.
It's Riddick. God damn it.
He finds a better nickname later. Big Daddy. That's his nickname. That's a good nickname for a boxer, especially a big guy like this. He's 6'5". He grows up to be, and 235. Yeah. He's a big. He's a big heavyweight. He's a big guy. He's born in New York City. He's a New York guy from Brooklyn. He's the second youngest of 13 children.
Holy shit.
13 children, no dads to any of these children anywhere near the scenario either. It is 13 kids. They're from tons of different dads. Yeah. It is a mess in that household.
A city that never sleeps, and neither does Mom's Johnner. Good grief.
Neither does anything.
No.
It's a disaster.
There's plenty of shit to do in New York, and she's just fucking everything.
Well, not in Brownsville, Brooklyn, where they're from. Brownsville is a shit area.
That's where what's-his-fuck fell asleep, right?
I'm sure, exactly. Yeah. Brownsville, yes, exactly. It was. Bernard King fell asleep in Brownsville trying to buy crack. Or Coke, actually, it was. Let's be fair to Bernard King here. He was buying Coke, not crack. He was classy.
Put him up a class,
Put him up a class here. Brownsville, though, I'm sure now you can just buy cupcakes and there's, 30-year-old white ladies with double strollers walking down the street and everything's fine. Wasn't like that back then. It wasn't like that when I grew up in New York. It wasn't like that in any of that.
There's lots of pop and pop cupcake shops.
Not then.
lots of mom and mom cupcake shops, too.
Brownsville might be one of those that's hard to gentrify, though. That might be like East New York or one of those neighborhoods that are just like, you can't, like South Bronx. It's like, that shit it's just not taken. Sorry, guys. It's just too burned out. We can't do anything. Half the buildings are just rubble.
Too many Corvettes with people asleep in them.
They're just passed out everywhere. There's basketball players passed out in Corvettes all over the neighborhood. This is ridiculous. This place has gone to shit. I'll tell you something right now. He grows up at 250 Lot Avenue in Brooklyn. We even have his home address.
How about
so you can cruise on by there and see what cupcake shop that is today. Mike Tyson was from around the corner, actually.
And that's why I was he grew up there? That's crazy because he fought him too,
No,
right?
he never fought Mike Tyson. When Bowe was up, Tyson was in prison and getting out. So when Bowe was leaving, that's when Tyson was coming back. Yeah, they just missed each other in waves.
He's like Keanu Reeves. He was the replacement.
He was the replacement, exactly. He said he and Mike went to junior high school together. Which is interesting. He said he was right behind Tyson in school. He's a little younger than Tyson. He said in the neighborhood, we never had a fight in the ring, he says. And he said, quote, I never had no trouble from Mike. So that's good. He was a younger guy.
I swore he fought him. That's crazy.
Never fought him. Evander Holyfield, plenty, as we'll get into here. They had some wars. Harsh childhood, very tough, 2-bedroom apartment. 12 brothers and sisters and a mother in Brownsville. Not terrific.
I can't imagine.
neighborhood really was bad when he was, I mean, it got bad 70s and 80s. That was when things went really downhill. He said it was just, all crack dealers on the stairs of his building when he'd come out. Everybody was, armed, and it's a dangerous, dangerous area. His mother tried to spoil him as much as you can when you have 13 children.
Fucking what?
God, that's
Baby,
what I mean.
you get my toenail clippings this week.
Yeah,
what do you give a kid?
To spoil him, I think, would be like to give him some attention. She said, "Hi, Riddick," when she came home. She's like, "I spoil him." You know what I mean? I spoil him good.
I say hello.
I say hello to him. So it was one of those. Yeah, his mother, Dorothy, said, quote, "He was kind of spoiled as a baby being next to youngest." Then she said when he started to get into boxing, she tried to discourage him from it. She said she wouldn't sign the release form to give him permission to box at school. So he had his sister, Priscilla, forge the signature when he was about 12 years old.
They had boxing at the school.
At the school,
Did you ever
boxing
have that at your
program.
school?
No boxing program at my school at all. I can't imagine. You know what, too? It might not have even been at the school. She could have confused this with one of her other brood. I mean, let's be honest. She's got a baker's dozen kids, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
She might have thought she was getting a glazed and she got a jelly. Who knows? She didn't know what she was doing. He actually had an uncle who was a boxer, uncle named Jimmy Williams, who actually in October of 1943 in Elizabeth, New Jersey, was knocked out in the second round by Rocky Graziano.
Oh, that's cool.
Who's a very famous fighter, so that's interesting. So he has some lineage in boxing in his family. His mother didn't know who he fought. His mother said, "I think he fought one of those Rocky guys." And so after a little research, we found out exactly which one.
I got to keep track of. Fuck my cousins and uncles.
I got 13 kids. I don't know which one of them boxed in school, or I don't know what happens where. Age 12, after his sister Priscilla forges the mother's signature, he meets a boxing trainer named Mo Sims.
Okay.
Mo Sims, older guy.
Sounds like a boxing trainer. That's a great fucking name.
Mo is a boxing trainer name, like Mo, or as we'll get into another guy with a great. His manager has a great boxing name too. His manager sounds like a boxing manager.
They all sound like just one word. Mo was Sims. Mo Sims.
Mo Sims.
It's so quick.
I got less Sims. I got Mo Sims. So he says. Mo encouraged him to work on technique, stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
He said every afternoon, Riddick said that every afternoon Mo would be downstairs from his apartment to pick him up to go to the gym.
Every afternoon
he'd go to this shit neighborhood and he'd pull up and pick Riddick up and take him to the gym. He says that Mo sometimes gave him money when he needed it, little something here and there. He said he was like a big brother as well as a father.
Yeah.
He said so he loved Mo Sims. Mo Sims said he always liked to joke and play, was his quote. He said, quote, "It was real tough to get him to be serious. In a funny sort of way, he was used to playing jokes to boost his confidence. He always felt it made him a better fighter to have some sort of, I don't know,
practical joke,
lightheartedness to it. That doesn't seem like the best fighter quality to have. I don't know how much you want to tell a joke in the ring and then try to punch a guy.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
Knock, knock, pow. Just punch him. Who's there? Right hand. Got you. He loved training, he said, as an amateur. He loved training, but as we'll find out, he gets a little out of that later on.
Lazy.
We have it in their own words on this whole thing here. Our first in their own words of many, because he never shuts the fuck up. In their own words, quote, "Coming from the ghetto, you would think I was poor, but I thought I was rich because I ate every night. There were a lot of murders and robberies, but because I had a structured schedule with boxing, I never really paid attention.
My God.
I thought I was rich because I ate every night." That's a quote. That tells you where he's coming from. I mean, that's
the fuck?
Right there. That says I am coming from a shithole. Yeah. Like kids are like, "You eat every night? Damn.
You get 3 fucking
Holy
meals?
Shit. Wait, every night?
You talking about Sunday too?
Like weekends? No, weekends, right? No, Wednesdays. Motherfuckers don't eat on Wednesdays. I haven't eaten on a Wednesday
7
ever.
fucking days, really?
Wow, how the hell does that happen?
Jesus.
So she tried to, that was pampering him, I guess. It was feeding him at night. When you have 13 kids, I guess that is, pampering.
Yeah.
Riddick saw his father, a guy named Jake. That was just what they called him. His real name is different. He says he estimates perhaps 6 times total during his childhood. He had no interest in him, apparently. He meets Judy, a girl named Judy, when he's 14 years old in school. Okay. She goes to school with him. He meets her on the street. He's hanging out with her cousin.
Sure.
And sees her and says, tries to talk to her.
Now she's pregnant.
Well, not yet. Not yet. 14.
Okay.
He meets her. He's 14. He's getting big. Like we said, 6'5". Yeah. He's a big guy, and he's been practicing boxing here. He walks his mother to her job every night. She works nights at a plastics factory, which sounds really, really good. Doesn't that sound fun? Jimmy,
like
quit your job right now
and
get a night shift job at the plastics factory. What do you say?
they have to burn that shit to mold it. You got to be walking home smelling terrible.
Yeah, I would think you'd have 14 different kinds of cancer from just melting plastic all around you.
All the chemicals. Man. And it's in your clothes.
Maybe that's what they were eating, too.
There you go.
I was like, that's like Eddie Murphy in Raw when we ate the toys, Eddie.
it said whatever it was on the side of it, so he probably thought he was eating spaghetti.
That's probably right. You're absolutely right. The silly
really
putty.
Crunchy spaghetti.
The Play-Doh. He put the thing down, spaghetti came out, and she said, great, serve. Judy, his future girlfriend here, said, quote, he didn't appear to be like the other guys in the neighborhood, the drug dealers and fast talkers with girls all over the place. He was different. So she thinks he's different. We'll find out how different he is. Tip, just a... You know what? Spoiler alert. He's not that different. Just a spoiler alert. Not drug dealing, but he's a dipshit, just like everybody else. He said, I guess he told her straight out that he was interested in her. She said she wasn't really into relationships at the time. Yeah. She was 14 years old, 15 years old. She said that he was a true friend. She said if she needed him, he was there. And if she didn't need him, he was still there because he was always hanging around.
That's a bit creepy.
That's a bit creepy, and he'll use that a little. It'll grow like it's got yeast in it. Yeah. It's going to rise. It's going to rise.
The creepiness rises.
It definitely does. They don't start dating for about 3 years actually, till she's about 17 or about 17, 18. He's about 16, 17. She's a year older than him.
Okay.
They would sneak out nights together. His mother worked at the plastics factory at night, so she would come home. I don't know where all the other brothers and sisters. Well, he's the second youngest, so a lot of them are probably gone.
Sure.
But she would sneak into his apartment, and he would go over to her house too. Her mother thought that he was gone at a certain time. Her mother said, quote, he was never at my house past 12 o'clock. This is Mildred Gordon, Judy's mother. At midnight, he was right out the door. And he says, quote, I was out the front door and right back in through the back.
Of course.
And he says, quote, that's how Junior came about.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
There's our Junior.
But he says this, and he'll say... There's more fluff pieces on this guy than you can even imagine. And in all these fluff pieces, they describe how the only woman he's ever been with is his wife, and he has no interest in other women, and he blah, 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 blah. Well, later on, he writes memoirs that detail in great detail his early sexual encounters from sleeping with a bunch of different high school teachers, and things like that. Yes, this is like the second boxer we've had that had this. I don't know. It's a thing with when it's really weird. Physically, he's mature.
Right.
He's 6'5". He's, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's a big, stocky kid. He's athletic. I don't know what it is about these teachers seeing that.
It's easy to confuse that.
It's adult.
It's a man.
It's a man, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what happens when dudes try to hit on 17-year-old girls because they're like, I see tits, so that must be an adult. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the same thing that happens. I don't know because whatever. But either way, he slept with a lot of women back then. He says, to the best of my knowledge, it's possible I could have impregnated as many as 25 women.
Holy
That's what
shit.
he says. He says a family friend paid for at least 6 abortions for him back then. So he is just... you know what? I give him credit. He doesn't have 35 kids running all around the place. I'm actually happier that he did that.
It's just crazy that he's got a family friend somewhere that's just like
family friend, like Mo Sims.
Oh
like silver-haired, middle-aged.
All right.
Well, not white men in this case, but still like a silver-haired, middle-aged man.
Somebody there that's like, I'm going to make money off this kid someday.
This kid's got a future. You don't need to have 13 kids by the time you are 18 years old.
Those cost you like $700,000 by the time they're 18. Just give me a chunk of that.
Yeah, just how about we'll just
and I'll invest $200 in it right now.
I don't know what a 1985 abortion cost, but it couldn't have been.
I can't imagine it was steep.
Couldn't have been. Amateur record in boxing total is 104-18.
Wow.
So I mean, he fights. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah.
That is 122 amateur fights.
And that's amateur.
That's amateur.
Long before he gets into professional boxing.
That's before you have Evander Holyfield pummeling your head and Andrew Galata pummeling your head and things like that. So. Let's build the brain damage pyramid now. Let's start building it now with 122.
It's there.
That's the base level of the pyramid. That's the
solid.
wide base is 122 amateur fights. He trains at the Bed-Stuy Boxing Association the whole time. He worked during this time, early 80s, as a sparring partner for Tyrell Biggs and also for Evander Holyfield.
Jesus.
As Evander Holyfield went on to go to the Olympics.
He's sparring with monsters, too.
Yeah, he's sparring with these guys, too. And Holyfield, like we said, becomes Evander Holyfield. At the time, Riddick's just some kid, and Holyfield's on his way to the Olympics.
No damage. I'm wearing headgear.
I'm wearing headgear. Fuck it. Yeah. That's a lot of blows to the head.
There's a brain in there floating in gray gunk that's getting bashed against head walls.
There's also a face hole where a glove is pummeling you there. It's 1983 U.S. Junior Championships.
Yeah.
He loses. He's a middleweight then, so that's how much thinner he is back then at 16 years old.
Yeah.
He loses in the second round to Adolfo Washington. Then 1985 New York Golden Gloves light heavyweight champion. He is in the novice division. He says, Mo Sims says that he remembers, he says, quote, "I remember when he won the Golden Gloves championship and he was getting the award, he got his first suit. He couldn't tie the tie. I helped him tie it. He said, I've never had anyone do that for me. I always tried to make him feel proud of himself."
That's nice.
So he tried to give him some sort of father figure type thing. I'll tie your tie. I'll pay for your abortions. You know, what dads do. You know, right? How many? Well, at least your dad, I'm sure, paid for at least half a dozen.
I didn't meet my dad till I was 28. I could have used him.
So he's only paid for like 2-3 abortions then. He hasn't had time for the rest of them. Okay, that's good.
Could have used him.
Could have used him back then. Nice, Dad. I got 2 fucking kids.
Yeah.
No thanks to you. Thanks a lot.
It would be really late term by now.
Yeah, I think that's out of control, right. Jimmy. I think it's cat's out of the bag on that one. So, in 1985... he is the light heavyweight champion of the Junior World Championships.
Yeah.
This is in Bucharest, Romania. I mean, this is a kid from Brownsville.
He's leaving the country to go fight.
13 brothers and sisters, happy because he eats at night.
Yeah.
He's, 18, just not quite 18 years old, and he's going all the way to Romania
There's
to fight.
12 other kids that are not doing that in his house.
Right away, he has to go, well, shit, this is the thing to do. Like, anybody else in the neighborhood ever been to Romania? I doubt it. You know what I mean? Anyone else ever been to Queens? Probably not. Like, these people, a lot of people, it's when you watch The Wire, another Wire reference, Jimmy, some of the guys on The Wire have never left the neighborhood. Like, they go to New York to pick up drugs, and the guy's shocked because he's losing Baltimore radio stations. We talked about this. He's like, there's different radio stations in different cities?
Hilarious.
Some people never leave shit. If you're really poor, you have no way to get out.
One of our listeners on Twitter, I think it was Punky Baxter, she said that we should start a podcast of you
explaining The Wire to you
each episode,
and you not seeing it,
and me going, what? That's
wow,
crazy.
That's crazy. I would like that. That'd be funny. James explains The Wire to Jimmy. Whoa, really? Or you could just watch it.
I could do that too.
He defeats 3 people to get this title of the World Junior World Championships. He defeats a Russian, a Romanian, and a Hungarian.
Ooh.
So he's just kicking
Some
ass
of the
all over.
toughest white people on the planet.
Yeah, some of the craziest white people going, and he beats them all.
That's awesome.
Not bad at all. Good for you, Riddick. 1986 New York Golden Gloves light heavyweight champion, which great. Now he's moving up the weight charts. That's in the open division, so it's not the novice division.
Right.
That's anybody can do that. April 27th, 1986. He still has not graduated high school yet, too.
Holy shit.
This is his senior year of high school,
He's
86.
a world traveler.
Yeah, so junior in high school, he was going to Romania.
Amazing.
Which must have been wild to all the other kids there. April 27th, 1986, he marries Judy.
You bet he did.
You know he got married. He does. He has to, man. Wonder why. We'll see. Well, let's talk about his own father here for a second. He said growing up as a kid, he always resented the fact that he didn't have a father.
Yeah.
He said it turned into actually some hatred.
Yeah.
He says a week before he graduated high school, his father started coming around saying he would come to his graduation.
Eat dick, sir.
His mother told him not to believe him.
Yeah.
And he said he had his heart set on having him there, and he never showed up. Never showed up. He said after that, I totally forgot all about him. Just didn't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes that one heartbreaking moment. Like, I didn't meet my dad till I was 28. I said that.
Yeah.
And I met him at my wedding day. And the day that happened, him saying that he was coming, I was kind of like that. Like, sure. All right, dude, whatever.
And
then he showed up. I was like, oh, fuck. This is an ordeal now.
Now I got to talk to this fucking guy. Yeah, that's terrible. Jesus, I'd be like, you know what? Let's just, what's your email address?
Yeah.
Let's just, I don't want to get into this.
Could you come back tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't want to do this while I have a suit on. It's just no good. That's not going to work.
I'm going to be half loaded in an hour. You don't want to hear the shit I'm about to say.
Yeah, with uncomfortable shoes on. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I could
shoes that
say
somebody
anything.
else wore yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not going to be happy at all. You can put that shit in the bank. So, June of 86, Bowe becomes only the second child in his family out of 13 kids to graduate from high school.
Second
out of 2 out of 13 is a shit ratio,
and
lady.
he was near the end.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
He's the second youngest.
Yeah.
So they all had an opportunity before him, and only one of them took it.
Only one of 11,
Yeah.
and then him, and then who knows what the baby did.
Yeah, Dorothy and that father who's never around, and all the other fathers from around. You could line them up it would look like the cast of The Simpsons when they gather them all in some ridiculous town setting.
Yeah.
It's your fault, assholes.
Way
That's
to
why.
go, dicks.
Nice job. Now, July 86, a month later, his son is born.
Oh, my God.
And of course, he names him Riddick Jr.
Yeah.
Of course he names him Riddick Jr.
It's a great goddamn name. Minus that middle name, it's a great name.
He's a Lamont also.
Yeah.
So, but it is. It's a good name for him. Good for him. He's got a son. Here he is, Riddick Jr. He goes on to 1987. Next year, in the New York Golden Gloves super heavyweight, he wins the championship.
All right.
There, he's the champ there in the open division. 1987, he goes to the Pan American Games.
Yeah.
It's in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is a kind of a disappointment if you're going to the Pan American Games. You're like, where are we going? South America? We're going, nope, Indianapolis. Gee, great. What's next? Cedar Rapids next year? Can we really step it up?
And they really gave that name of that town hell. They were like, what can we call this? It's a metropolis. Oh, I got it. We're Indiana. We're Indiana, and it's a metropolis.
Let's do
will mash these two ugly fucking words together.
Yes, and make it sound Greek with a polis on it. Yeah, thanks.
Horrible.
Thanks a lot. So he's fighting in Indianapolis, this terribly named city. He loses to Jorge Luis Gonzalez on points. Remember that name because he's going to come up again later here. Gonzalez also beat Lennox Lewis in that same tournament. So
same tournament.
This guy beat Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis back to back, which is pretty amazing. He beat two future heavyweight champions.
Where's that fucking guy now?
We'll find out.
All right.
Don't worry, we'll find out.
Jesus, that guy sounds like a fucking legend. I want to talk to him.
You will know. In 1988, he wins New York Golden Glove super heavyweight division champion in the open division. So he's kicking ass. He's on his way. Spring of 1988, everything is going great, and then his sister Brenda is killed by a mugger.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is brutal here.
In New York?
In New York. We have an in their own words on exactly what went down with that. Okay. In their own words, quote, she was shopping with the kids and somebody knew she had her welfare check. She was stabbed several times. She didn't die right there. She was in the hospital for about a week. Then she died. She was my favorite sister. I named my first daughter Brenda in her memory. It was really hard.
That is fucked
That's brutal.
Up.
For her welfare check.
And she was shopping with her kids.
With her kids, got stabbed up in front of her kids for a welfare check after shopping.
That's like the worst story ever.
And then lingered for a week in pain and then died.
Bled out.
That is horrible.
Unbelievable.
That's horrible. So
whatever was hit was leaking for a week.
Oh, that's
horrible.
Just awful, man. I could see him being a little upset about that.
Yeah.
But he has no time to mourn and be.
He's got a fight
down.
to prep for.
Well, he's got the 1988 Olympics to prep for.
Oh my God!
The 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. As we've gone over these, we've had a couple people in these Olympics. We had James Waith. We've had a few people in the 88 Olympics.
They've piled up with
Evangelos
scumbags.
Gousis. Yeah, there are a lot of all fighters have gone. All the fighters here. This is in Seoul, South Korea. Like we said, this was the Olympics. Just a quick recap because we've done it a couple times. This is the one with Florence Griffith Joyner and Bette Johnson and Greg Louganis. AIDS and up the pool and all that kind of stuff here. I get that if the chlorine kills it, it's not a big deal, but there was still he was still AIDS in the pool.
He was still diving into that and bringing it with him.
He was. Which is fine. You can swim in a pool with people with AIDS all day long. Go ahead. But at the time, people freaked the fuck out about it. That's what I mean. People lost their minds.
And a few years later, Magic got it, and then the whole fucking world stopped.
And then they actually went, oh, okay, how do we get this again? What's the deal? Yeah, before that, it was just that movie they made you watch in school about the kid who got the transfusion, the Ryan White story. Outside of that, that's all we knew. So Bowe in this series here, he beats a guy named Biko Badawamangu from Austria.
What?
Right? That's what I said. I'm like, this guy's got to be from somewhere on
at least the Congo.
Somewhere in Africa. Nope, Austria. He defeated, that was a knockout round 2. He defeated Peter Hrivnak. There's not enough vowels in there, from Czechoslovakia. That was a TKO in the first round. He defeats Alex. Jesus, can he fight anybody named Smith at this point? Alex Miroshchenko of the Soviet Union beats him on points.
And then ICP named their album after him. What the fuck was that?
The great Miroshchenko. So then he fights in the final. It is Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis.
Right.
If you don't know who Lennox Lewis is, he is a British...
He is the scariest looking man with the softest sounding voice.
He's just like, hello. He's got this... very proper British accent.
So white.
He's just so. He just sounds so proper British,
unthreatening,
and he's 6'5", 250 with dreadlocks, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's huge.
Sounds like a guy
and he
5'6".
Ass.
Yeah,
he's an ass kicker too. It's not like. He's a big, tough son of a bitch.
Sounds like a guy 5'6" with like a comb over and then some fucking, like some tweed suit.
It really does, man. So this is the final. So this is like future superstars in the final at the Olympics, which is really cool, actually. Lewis ends up winning the fight by TKO in round 2. And Lewis was getting the better of him.
Yeah.
I watched the fight. You could see it before the ref calls it in round 2. And Lewis starts he lands to a combination of right-left that really you can see Bowe get rocked.
Yeah.
It's from the bird's eye view, the shot, but you could still see him get rocked, and he was shaken up, and we have
body
it in their
or
own
face.
Face,
really? Okay.
Double shot, right, left. We have it in their own words about the loss to Lennox Lewis. He does not think that the refs should have stopped the fight. Afterwards, they interview him, and he's like, I think it's garbage that they stopped the fight. They shouldn't have stopped the fight. And here's in their own words, quote, "I was shaken up. Pretty much, but I didn't think it was enough for him to stop it because I've seen guys practically killed in the ring. The coaches told me to be cool, so I had to leave it at that.
I've seen guys killed in the ring, but...
Seen guys killed in there. I mean, they could have just let me die. What the fuck, man? That's the problem. That's what they're trying to avoid. Guys practically being killed in the ring.
Was Lennox Lewis 6'6" or 6'8"?
I think he was 6'5" or 6'6". Okay. He's about the same size.
Okay.
We'll see this throughout his career. He has a hard time fighting bigger fighters.
Yeah.
Bigger fighters give him trouble, like height-wise. Yeah. You get a guy that's 6'5", that's his size, it gives him difficulty.
Generally with everybody. Well, it's hard for me to fight somebody taller, too.
But a lot of times you'll get shorter. Like Tyson preferred a tall opponent because that's what he was used to fighting. Everybody's taller than him as a heavyweight.
Plus, he's beating the shit out of their body anyway, whether they're tall or not.
Well, I feel like when you're 6'5" and a young boxer, there's not a lot of other boxers that are 6'5". So most of the guys you're fighting and sparring with are going to be 6 foot, 6'1", something like that. So you're not used to that. Your whole training thing is screwed up here. So he fights Lennox Lewis, and it doesn't go well here. But good news for him, though, things are getting better. That year, in 1988, his brother Henry dies of AIDS.
Oh.
So lots of great things happening for him. Sister stabbed in the parking lot. Yeah. Brenda's got and I just keep picturing Tupac's song with Brenda because her kids are in the thing, and Brenda's got a baby, and it's the whole thing. So anyway, it's a problem here. So Henry dies of AIDS. So he had a hard time with that because he said Henry was one of his like idols, and it was like his older brother. He was into a lot of shit though. Henry
was it drug use.
There was drugs. There was pimping.
Yeah.
He was into the street
anything.
life. Yeah. He was into the street life.
He was into the AIDSy life.
Between the needles and the women, anything could have happened. He's lucky that all he got was AIDS. I'm sure he could have got something worse.
He probably had Hep C too.
The lifestyle he was living, probably. Also, he has a daughter, and that year, a daughter is born. Riddicia.
What?
Riddicia. Riddicia.
What a dick.
So he's trying to name his daughters after him, too. At least he didn't just name her Riddick Lamont Jr., too.
Foreman.
Exactly. Like it could have been that.
Yeah.
So now he's got an Olympic silver medal under his belt.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. Early 1989, he begins training with a legendary trainer named Eddie Futch.
You bet.
Eddie has trained 21 world champs.
What?
21 world champs, lots of people.
What is he doing?
He started, he's dead now, but he started working with Joe.
He's rotting. That's what he's doing.
Rotting in the ground, being a skeleton. This guy Futch started working with Joe Frazier in 1966 as an assistant trainer to Frazier's trainer. And Futch was in Frazier's corner when he fought Muhammad Ali in 1971.
Wow.
And he said that he was the one that told Frazier that Frazier's shorter, and he said to be even a smaller target, to bob and weave.
Yeah.
And he told him that when Ali throws that uppercut, he said every time you see his hand come down, he's going to throw an uppercut. When he drops his right hand, you throw your left hook.
Right.
And so he had this strategy worked out. You do this and you do that. And he beat Muhammad Ali, for Christ's sake.
You're going to break his body down.
Yeah, he ended up knocking knocking Ali in the 15th round. So I mean, so he's a good trainer basically. Futch said that that Bowe had more potential than any boxer he had ever trained.
Okay.
He said, quote, he was just a big vulnerable kid. Everybody thought he was a man, but he had the mental maturity of someone much younger.
He just called him stupid.
He said he's 21 and he acted 16. It's just the way he was. He was just goofy.
I think that was the rumor about him anyway, was that there was something slow going on.
We'll get into exactly the slowness and his MRIs and everything else a little later. We have a lot here. March 6th, 1989, his pro boxing debut at the Lawler Event Center in Reno, where dreams come true, where we all want to do our first anything big.
The King Lawler Center.
You got it, baby. He's fighting Lionel Butler here. Okay. And Butler is a 32-17-1 career fighter.
That's pretty good.
He's actually a linker on Wikipedia, which is like, wow. He's only 5'11". So they're giving him somebody that he can just tee off on with target practice. Bowe wins by TKO in round 2 at 1:50, minute 55 in the second round. It's only a 4-round fight scheduled for. So these are
they're stretching him at 5'11", by the way.
Yeah, he's probably 5'10".
Yeah, there's nobody going, I'm 5'11". No, everybody that's 5'11" goes, I'm 6 foot.
No one is 5'11 and a half. They're like, I'm 5'11". They just run down. No, they're like, I'm 6'1", 6'1", 6.5. You know how it is.
At 5'11", they're definitely saying he's 6 foot. So that motherfucker's 5'9" or 5'10" at best.
Absolutely.
At best.
So that was March 6th, 89. Let's go through his 1989 quickly here. That's March 6th. That's his pro debut. That is fight 1. He's 1-0. April 14th, 1989, like a month later, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. So that's a step up from the Lawler Event Center.
You bet.
He fights Tracy Thomas, who's a 6-10 career fighter, but he's a southpaw. So that gives trouble. He's coming off 5 straight wins also.
Jesus.
Doesn't matter. Bowe wins by TKO in round 3 at 157. So that's 2-0. May 9th, 89, he's fighting at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City. He's pushing aside the diving horse to fight in front of a crowd here. He fights Garing, quote, Freight Train Lane is his name. Which half the fighters in America are named Freight Train. Too many. Lane he's a journeyman fighter. 22-39-2 career.
Wow.
This is a guy that fights a lot, loses, goes the distance.
Shit kicked out of him.
But he can hang in and go the distance type of guy, and he does here. It's a 4-round fight. It goes the distance. Bowe wins by unanimous decision in the 4th round. And a journey, like a veteran journeyman, like that's a guy that a rookie fighter is going to probably have trouble with, maybe, because he's going to know little tricks and little ways to. He's going to clinch. He's going to clinch. He's going to annoy. That sort of thing here. That's 3-0. So that's 2 months he's been fighting. He's already got 3 fights under his belt.
Right.
July 2nd, 89, at the Cumberland County Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Wow. My God. I'll tell you right now, that's the most storied venue in America. Absolutely. If you're not from this country, the Cumberland Crown County Coliseum in Fayetteville trumps Madison Square Garden every time. He fights Antonio Whiteside. This is Whiteside's 3rd pro fight.
All right.
He is a career 0-12 fighter.
Wow.
0-12. Didn't work out for Antonio.
After 10, you've got to walk the fuck away.
Yeah, I think you got to go.
How do you get to 12?
Double-digit losses. When he got to 12, he's like, all right, fuck it. This is embarrassing now. This is embarrassing.
This number actually has another term for it. I'm out.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm up to a term number. I can't do this now. So if we get to a score, I'm really fucked. I can't have this. So we got to stick with 12. So no shocker what happens here. As we know, Riddick wins by TKO in the 1st round at a minute 19.
First round.
He just pummels him. It took him a minute to kill this guy. He's 4-0 now. 2 weeks later, less than 2 weeks later, July 15th, 89, he's fighting again at the Broadway by the Bay Theater in Atlantic City. Fights Lorenzo Canati, who's a 7-10-1 career fighter. This guy actually lost to Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's 6th fight.
Really?
So if you've ever seen that compilation on YouTube of like Tyson's first 20 fights, where they're like whole fights and they take the whole video's like 8 minutes long, him knocking people out, this guy's on the list.
All right.
Bowe here wins in the 2nd round, 5-0. He goes to here, so he is just going along.
This is so unhealthy.
It's so unhealthy. September, wait till you hear September. September 3rd, 89, Pensacola, Florida. He fights Lee Moore. This is Moore's 2nd fight. In his 1st fight, he lost to Tommy Morrison.
Oh, wow.
I believe it's episode 18. Tommy Morrison, who got AIDS and then
knocked the shit
denied having AIDS, said, I do not have AIDS, and then died of AIDS. Tommy Morrison here. This Lee Moore is 0-10 career. That's his career
what
record.
The fuck?
0-10.
See, and that's a guy I can respect. He got to 10, and he was
said,
like,
"I can't do this.
It's
embarrassing.
I'm obviously not good at this."
Jesus, I mean, one or two.
How do you get to number 11?
1 or 2, lack of experience, fine. But by 10, it's like, I don't think I'm good at this.
By 7, you got to be going,
you.
this was a really bad choice.
Jesus
8, 9, you're
Christ.
like, look, one more, and I'll quit. I swear to you.
I could see by the third fight, you'd be like, okay, I lost to Tommy Morrison,
Right.
who's a big up-and-comer, and I lost to an Olympic silver medalist who's a big up-and-comer. Understandable.
Maybe I'm just not as good as them yet.
Yeah.
Give me time.
Give
I'll
me
be
time.
as good as
but
them.
then 8 fights later, he's like, okay, I'm not as good as
Fuck it.
anybody. Never mind.
Everybody's better than me.
I'm not even going to start any fights in bars because I'm going to get beat up. I'm just done here. This is a first-round knockout.
I'm afraid one of those 10 will be the guy
They're
I
going to be the
fucking
guy.
pick
It
on.
could happen. They could be number 11 to beat me up. Bowe wins by first-round knockout. He's 6-0. That's September 3rd. Okay. September 15th, he's fighting again at Gleason's Arena in New York City, fighting Anthony Hayes, who is 0-8 career.
Okay.
So they just set up a couple tomato cans. They're like, just knock these down real quick.
Right.
Bowe wins by knockout in round 1 at 121.
Okay.
So a minute 20 into the fight. He's 7-0. 4 days later,
Jesus,
September 19th, 89, he's fighting again.
This is a problem.
This is crazy. Yeah, I can't believe this is allowed. Veterans Coliseum in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
He fights Earl Lewis.
He was called Boy on the way to that
Oh,
event.
you know he was, and it
it.
pissed him off.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to kick Earl Lewis's ass for that shit, even though he had nothing to do with
Earl's
it, and he
gonna
is also
die.
black.
Yeah.
He is 8-9-1 career, Earl Lewis. So nobody's setting the world on fire that he's fighting. Big shocker. Knockout for Riddick Bowe in round 1 at 1:26.
Okay.
He's making quick work of these people anyway.
That's the good news.
He's fought 3 times in September, and he's barely fought enough time for one whole round.
Yeah.
So that's not
he
bad, I
didn't
guess.
even sweat yet.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, by the way, this was Earl Lewis's last fight. He gave up here, 8-9-1. He's like, all right, I'm not going to get to the 10th loss.
Right.
I'm going to quit while I'm ahead here. Ahead, in quotes.
Fuck these double-digit losers.
Oh, man. October 19th, 89, Trump Plaza in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
He fights a guy named Mike Acey, A-C-E-Y. I don't know how you'd say that. Acey. There's about 12 ways to say that, and none of them are right. Doesn't matter. This guy is like a middle-aged white guy with a mustache.
Perfect.
He is the least boxing-looking person I've ever seen in my life. He looks like when you're a teenager, if you went to pick a girl up, that's her dad. Like that. He looks like a state trooper.
Does his
like,
belly have wrinkles on it like that guy?
He's got this mustache that's so... He looks like a state trooper. He looks like just a cop who pulled you over. It's so strange. Said, you dating my daughter? Like, it's the weirdest thing. He's a 13-11-1 career fighter. This fight lasts... not quite one round.
Yeah.
So he fought 2:26. He lasts 2 minutes 26 seconds. Riddick knocks him out, bringing his record to 9-0. This is all first year. We're still in the first year.
Unbelievable.
November 4th, 89, Trump Plaza. He fights Freight Train Lane again, Garing Lane. I don't know why he's fighting him again. Probably because he's 5'10" and he just wants to punch down.
Yeah.
Bowe,
Or Garing's just been opening his fucking mouth. And
maybe, he's like, I'll whoop his ass.
He got lucky. He got lucky, that kid.
Yeah. Or there was a fight, maybe somebody backed out and this guy jumped
There you
in. That
go.
happens a lot, too. Bowe wins in round 4 again. So it takes 4 rounds to beat this Garing Lane, no matter what. It's a TKO with 1:50 left, so at least he stops him.
Yeah.
That's his 10th fight. So that's 10 fights in,
2 months?
2 months.
Like 7 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks later, on the 18th of November, he's fighting at Coolidge High School in Washington, D.C.
This is when you could actually make a living boxing and, like, not be a big name. 'Cause
Not be famous.
Right.
Yeah.
You can string so many fights together, win them, and take, I don't know, whatever he's taking home, probably $10,000. He's a pro.
Yeah, I don't know about that at
8 to
Coolidge
10?
High School. It's probably
not in a high school. At Trump
You're on
Tower,
the-
you can take some money home, I'm
you're
sure.
getting paid something.
Yeah.
Who knows, too? I mean, he has it a little easier than if you're another guy because he's an Olympic silver medalist. So he's got a team that believes in him, that knows what he can do, that are putting him in setting up fights. There's promoters that think they can make money on him in the future. Silver-haired, middle-aged white men are lining up to the back of the room for this guy. Don Askew here is 10-12-1, TKO in the first round for Riddick. Shit. He's 11-0, so he's just knocking people left and right.
Yeah.
November 28th, 10 days later, he's fighting again. Alumni Arena in Buffalo versus Art Card, who's a 10-11 career fighter. Bowe wins by knockout in the third round. He goes to 12-0. Finally here, December 14th, 1989, St. Joseph, Missouri. He fights Charles White Lightning Woolard. That does not bode well. I'm sorry.
No.
He is a 6-6-1 career fighter, which is about right for what I would imagine just by his shitty, lame name. Bowe wins by TKO in round 2. The guy lasted a whole round. I'll give him credit for that. 2 minutes, 46 seconds in. 13-0 is Riddick Bowe, and that's his first year as a pro. Not first calendar year, just his first from March to December. That's 1989 for him. 13 goddamn fights.
That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane is what it is. Like, what the that's a nutty pace that you can't keep up. That's
by the way, White Lightning is a bit redundant because
lightning
fucking white.
Yeah. I don't know. At least he didn't call himself. At least he didn't call himself Grease Lightning.
I'd rather him call himself Moonshine, because that's what that is.
He wanted everyone to know he's white. I feel like that's what it is. It's like, I'm a white guy.
Everybody just make sure that you bet on the black guy.
Exactly.
And in case you're confused which guy that is.
The guy not named White Lightning. That's the guy you bet on. Go ahead and do that. That's not going to work here.
Jesus, how stupid.
His next 2 fights, he's in early 1990. They're both against non-linkers. He wins them with second and third round TKOs.
Yeah.
Nobody here. April 14th, 1990. He's got a big fight. He's at the Mirage in Vegas.
I love it.
So now we're in Vegas. Now this is some boxing.
That feels like real boxing.
That feels like real boxing. He's fighting an 8-round fight instead of a 6-rounder or a 4-rounder. He fights Eddie Gonzalez, who is a 26-19-1 career boxer here. Like I said, unanimous decision here in 8 rounds.
Okay.
So he goes the distance in Vegas. So, and another thing Riddick will show over the course of his career, he's not one of these guys where if he doesn't knock you out in the first 3 rounds, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
He is he is strong
just as painful
for 12 rounds. Yeah. He's strong.
He's just as much a pain in the ass for 12 rounds as he is for 2.
He goes the distance. He wins decisions, and there's something to be said about that for a boxer who does that, who can go the distance and win decisions.
Yeah, it's called a winner.
But it's a perseverance thing. You're not giving up. You're staying ahead on points, and you're okay with that. There's a certain type of boxer that does that really, really well, and some guys just can't go that distance because they have to try to. They can't do it.
Or it's something in his head that just he doesn't know how to quit.
That's
because
true
there's
too.
Problems in there.
Well, that too. I still got to punch things, and also too the Olympic fighters too. They're used to fighting on point systems, so he's the type of guy who can be I'll just keep pointing this guy till the end, and that's what he can do. So 1990. That's after when he's starting to get a little bit of cash here. He starts as we'll get into what he does here in a second. May 8th, 1990. He gets a first-round knockout versus Jose Contreras in Atlantic City, bringing him to 17-0.
Okay.
His daughter Brenda is born.
Great.
So he has it's actually his second daughter. So he lied about that. He didn't name his first daughter Brenda. He named his second daughter.
What a dick.
Named his first daughter Radicia after himself.
Right.
Then he gave Brenda her due.
Soon as I knock this one out, and I mean not knock. You get what I mean. As soon as we have this one, and I get my comeuppance, because I need 2. I got to get both of these named after me, and then everybody else.
I'll start giving
everybody else that deserves.
Because I'm going to have a bunch because I have brain damage. Clearly, I need to have as much kids as possible.
I grew up in a tiny house with way too many people in it. I should do the same thing.
I should do, except in a big house with way too many people, and that's what he does. They move. He is the sole source of income for everyone in his entire family, not just his wife and kids. For everybody or in the neighborhood, basically. He moves everyone in the family to Fort Washington, Maryland.
What?
It's a suburb of Washington, D.C. That is where his manager, Rock Newman, as we'll get into. That's a
fucking great name.
Rock Newman is a character here, and he's down there, and this guy encourages Bowe to move down to the D.C. area, and so he moves his whole family to be near the manager. Judy, his wife, Riddick's wife, said that Riddick bought houses. Basically, he bought a whole street full of houses for his family, is what he did. It's for his mother.
So dumb.
For his mother, Judy's mother, 3 of his sisters, and a niece.
Spread those people out.
All houses on the same street.
Get them the fuck away from each other.
It's a Mormon compound, guys. That's what it is. We're Brownsville Mormons. Let's do this.
I've heard of this TV show that's about this kind of area of the country, and it's really fucked up on that TV show. Have you heard of The Wire? Have you heard of that
Yes,
show?
I believe it's The Wire. Yes, it's a suburb, but you can get there quick. He is 2 minutes from being robbed from Omar. I'm telling you right now. That's right. So he does this. Not only does he give them houses, he also gives them stipends. So he gives them an allowance of $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
This is after he pays for all their house shit, though. He pays for all their stuff, gives them $1,000 a month. So they're off welfare.
There's like 90 people.
So he's helping clear the welfare rolls. I'll give him that
what a
anyway.
guy.
But also, Judy would say later on that Bowe, quote, punishes them by withholding money from them whenever they do something he doesn't like.
Of course.
So he's using his money as control.
Yeah.
And he does this his whole life, and we'll get into a bunch of other things here.
He made himself the government.
That's what he did. He did. So I'm taking you off welfare.
He took the responsibility.
I'll put you. This is the projects now.
I'll
just
imprison
move
you
to this cul-de-sac, and you stay here, and I give you money. And if you don't, if you piss me off, you're not getting your meal through the slot. Sorry.
If you piss me off, you're not getting your government cheese.
That's right. Jesus. Judy said that Bowe had bought a Rolex watch for his mother, and it was stolen. So Bowe lined all the relatives up who lived on the street. He brought in the whole brood and told them he would deduct the cost of the watch from their stipends unless it was returned.
Oh, boy.
So this is what I mean.
Did it reappear?
Never. We don't know the fate of the Rolex, but he's at this point like 23 years old, and he's playing like,
and he's telling everybody, give Mama's watch back, or nobody gets shit.
That's what I mean. Like he's in that kind of control.
He's 23.
It's so strange.
It's awesome.
So strange, man.
I wish I could have done this to my family, though.
Yeah, don't we all? Everybody, line up, idiots. Yeah, you're gonna do what I say, or you're not getting shit. That's every kid's dream. You know what I mean?
Fucking great.
Every kid's dream. It's ridiculous.
Ma, you make spaghetti or else.
Or else.
Because you can't cook shit else.
So he still
was a terrible cook.
No, she was
the worst.
And my mom makes like two things well.
On Friday nights, she always took whatever was left over from the other nights and mixed that shit together. And that was our dinner Friday night.
The hell is that?
It was horrible.
It sounds terrible, Jimmy.
It would have way too many lima beans because everybody hated those. So there was a bunch of those left. It was basically lima bean stew, whatever the fuck she wanted to put
That is
together.
terrible. I'm Italian, so I had good food, so I can't relate to that shit.
Oh, my God. My mom's German and cooks like it.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother whipped up good things and stuff like that. Yeah, Germans, everything.
Dealt with your grandma.
Yeah, you would have liked to. She did yell at you and beat you and chase you around and things.
And say racist shit.
She was she wasn't the racist one. She wasn't the one that wouldn't take cold cuts from a black guy like the other one. I don't know if I've told you guys about that, but I have a grandmother. I have a grandmother who's 91 years old, 92 years old now. She's currently in a home because she's got just teeming with dementia at this point. So when I tell you how she is, don't worry, she can't vote or she has no say in the world or anything like that. She's out of her mind. She can't vote, so this is good. This is true, though. This is sad, but she's the most racist person ever. Ever. There's never been a more racist racist to the point where we were all just like, nobody took after her. We were all just like, this is crazy. Like,
how did she get this way?
Some people kill somebody and they'll just shoot them and they're dead, and then somebody will like just disembowel and take a head off, and you're like, Jesus, like they're both deaths and they don't matter.
Right.
But this is like, why?
What are you doing?
She would not accept cold cuts, lunch meat from a black man at the deli at the supermarket. Wouldn't accept cold cuts.
Great.
She told us a story about it. She goes, I look back there, and there he is. And she goes, I looked at myself. I said, I don't need cold cuts that bad. That was her thing. And we're all like, what is wrong with you? We were recording this, obviously, because it's hilarious. But we're like, what the hell is wrong with this woman?
Why did she do that?
Thank God she can't vote. That's all I have to say, because she is nuts, man. Well, don't cold cuts that bad. Wow, man, you are great. Out there, boy.
She's my favorite. Well, but she
Sweet
could
old
cook
lady.
too.
She could cook.
Yeah,
she's
got shitty fucking opinions, but she can outcook my mom.
She was never known as like your sweet old grandma, though. It was like, yeah, grandma, man's out of her damn mind. She's crazy.
I love her, though.
She is nuts, boy. You want to get her going, you can just walk up and go, hey, Nan, those Dominicans, huh? And she'll just go, shut up, God damn it. Start slapping the table. I swear to God, you don't even have to say anything. Just go, Dominicans, and make an eye. She'll just go, oh, those bastards, and she'll tell you for an hour and a half
so good.
what's wrong with Dominicans. Shit that Dominicans have never done, have nothing to do with Dominicans, just things that she decides. So
good.
Back to Riddick Bowe here. Luckily, he's not trying to sell cold cuts to my grandmother. He's boxing in December of 1990. He knocks out a guy named Tony Morrison, not Tommy Morrison, in 2 minutes and 20 seconds in Kansas City, bringing his record to 21-0. Mm-hmm. So not too shabby, I have to say.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, because the 3 fights before that were all kind of half-assed linkers. He won all 3 fights in impressive fashion first couple rounds. So he's 21-0 now in December of 1990. Now, his next fight's when he starts getting into some tougher, winning some tougher, longer fights even, too. March 2nd, 91 at the Broadway by the Bay Theater in Atlantic City. He fights Tyrell Biggs, who he used to be sparring partner with, if you remember. Biggs is a 30-10 career fighter, and he's 6'5". So he's
now we got a good match.
This is a test.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter with size, and I feel like this was his trainers going, all right, let's see if he's really got the goods. Let's put him in.
He's familiar with this guy at least.
He's familiar, a little bit. Exactly, and the other guy's familiar with him, but when he was younger, so it's a different thing. Bowe wins by TKO in round 8.
Holy
shit! So he gets him a stoppage in round 8 at 217. So that's
awesome.
That's a big step for him. I'm sure his management was like, okay, that's something. He's 22-0 right now. April 20th, 91, which is not too, that's, a month and a half, which after an 8-round fight, that is not enough time to recover. That's not even 6 weeks. I mean, that's 6 weeks. That is not enough time to recover.
There's still bruises on your brain.
From 8 rounds of boxing against a really good fighter who hit him a lot, too. Now, so he's fighting against in Caesar's Palace here. He fights Tony Tubbs, who, as you might have heard of, too. Tony Tubbs, real good fighter, former champ. He's 47-10 career. Jesus. Coming into this fight, he only had 2 losses.
Fuck.
And they were to Tim Witherspoon, who's a former champ, and Mike Tyson.
Good fuck.
So he's a tough son of a bitch, Tubbs. Bowe wins. It goes all 10 rounds.
Oh, Jesus.
And Bowe wins a unanimous decision.
Wow.
So this is what I mean. He's going distances. But in 6 weeks, he's fought 18 rounds against top-tier heavyweights. His brain has got to be a little bit mushy.
And his kidneys and liver, everything's got to be so sore.
Well, for everyone else's concern, we'll worry more about his brain because we'll see what happens with that later.
Yeah.
So we find out from all these brain damage sports episodes. Fucking brain damage, man. It's such a big factor.
It's so prevalent.
Such a big factor. Even listening to, go listen to Time Suck with Dan Cummins, really good podcast. He did one on Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, and I never really put it together until you hear it over an hour and 40 minutes, how many blows to the head he had as a kid. And so many stories of being knocked unconscious by his parents, and I'm like, that's brain damage. That's what causes you to kill shitloads of people.
I love Richard Kuklinski. Not that I love him, but it's a very fascinating story,
fascinating
his whole life. And I didn't even know that his dad killed his brother. I had no idea.
You didn't know? That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
I knew that too, but that's what I mean.
And he
blows
beat
to the head.
him to death.
Yeah. So these blows to the head, the whole time I'm thinking just from crime and sports, I'm literally texting Dan going, fucking concussions, man. Jesus Christ.
It's a problem.
It's a problem here. So his next 2 fights are against non-linkers. He needs a couple of warm-up fights after that here.
Sure. Probably still feels like he did 300 sit-ups yesterday.
He probably still does.
I'll bet he doesn't even feel them. His brain is such mush that he doesn't understand that his belly's fucked up.
It gets so much worse here, too. He fights Rodolfo Martin and Philip Brown in Vegas and Atlantic City. 2 early knockouts just to get him up to 25-0.
Okay.
August 9th, 1991 at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City. He fights Bruce the Atlantic City Express Selden.
What the fuck?
He's a good fighter, actually. I think he held the belt.
Boy?
I think so, yeah. I think he held the belt for a little while in the 90s here. He's 40-8 career. Coming in, he only had 1 loss.
Wow.
And that was to Oliver McCall, who was a really good fighter, too. Bowe knocks him out bad. He kicks his ass. 1 minute 48 seconds in round 1.
Shit.
Knockouts. This is a good fighter and a future champ. 26-0 for Bowe. October 29th, 1991. Here's some craziness now. Walter E. Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. He fights Elijah Tillery, who sounds like some sort of Civil War. He sounds like he did a lot in the Underground Railroad. You know what I mean? It was Harriet Tubman and Elijah Tillery would take the slaves to her house. That's what it sounds like. He fights Elijah Tillery, who's a good fighter, 23-7 record. And this is for the vacant WBC heavyweight title.
Okay.
So this is a title fight. Bowe dominates the first round. Really? Absolutely whoops his ass. Drops Tillery in the first round.
Knocked him down in the first round.
Knocks him down in the first round. After the round ended, this is nuts here. This is when it gets wacky. Tillery comes out of his corner and walks toward Bowe and starts taunting him.
What?
Bowe responds by punching Tillery.
Yeah.
He hits him, which seems fair. They both have gloves on. They're in the ring. Tillery then starts throwing kicks at Bowe, like trying to kick him in the balls and in his legs and stuff like that. Bowe then just unleashes, just starts working him with punches, just absolutely working him over as Tillery's kind of laying over the ropes here.
Not even during the fight. This is after.
This is like after the first round.
In the middle, like the bell rang. Go to your corners. Now we're gonna have a legit fight.
Rather than going to the corner, Tillery walked over to talk shit to Bowe.
Can we have
a
bar fight instead, you guys? Because
I don't understand why he was talking shit. They're gonna fight. They have 8 more rounds. They're 12. It's a championship fight. You have 11 more rounds. You can fight this guy.
Go get Vaseline first.
Yeah,
man.
don't worry. Come back out next round and be like, I want to kick your ass now. Keep your heat, buddy. Right. Keep yourself all angry.
This is what I half expected Conor McGregor to do.
Yeah, exactly. No shit.
Just to like give up after the first round and be like, fuck it. I'm kicking him in the dick.
So now here comes Bowe's trainer, Rock Newman, grabs Tillery from behind on the ring apron and pulls him over the ropes.
Oh, my God.
As Bowe's continuing.
He's Mean Gene.
And Riddick's continuing to throw punches at him, too.
Holy
He's
shit.
got this guy pulling him out from the side. This is some WWE
I
shit.
love this.
Jimmy the Mouth of the South Heart hit him with the megaphone and pulled him over the top. And the Honky Tonk Man's going to give him the shake, rattle, and roll. This is tough shit.
He's got a 2x4 coming down the sideline. This is great.
He somehow you see Tillery somersault over the ropes. He goes over. The whole thing, security comes in, orders restored. This whole thing gets going. Tillery and Bowe are in the ring, still jabbering and trying to fight each other. It turns out Tillery ends up being disqualified for the kicking.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
The announcers though were very surprised by this because they saw the rest of it and they're like, "Huh?" I guess what ended up happening here, the referee, a guy named Carl Milligan, he stepped between the two fighters to separate them and stepped forward. As he did so, he didn't see any of the shit behind him that was going on, so he missed half of it. All he saw was the kicking, and he was like, I guess I'm disqualifying him for that. He didn't see the manager pull the guy over the ropes and the whole deal.
He didn't see Honky Tonk Man and the megaphone guy.
No, he didn't see him hit him
either.
with the guitar, and it didn't happen. So Tillery's DQ'd for kicking here. This is not the last time Bowe's going to deal with kicking, by the way.
Jesus.
We'll get into, we'll
he
get into that later
frustrates the
on.
fuck out of people.
Yeah, wait till you see what he did with Andrew Galata, and he made Andrew Galata lose his fucking mind later on. So now he's heavyweight champ, or one of the heavyweight champs. He's got the WBC title. He's 27-0.
Amazing.
Top of the world, ma.
Jesus.
This is great shit right here. December 13th, 1991, Convention Hall, Atlantic City. Guess who? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, this is kind of important.
Yeah.
After this fight with Tillery, the first one with the DQ, there was a huge riot and 3 people ended up being shot outside.
What?
For fighting. There was a huge riot with the crowd.
Jesus.
And it spilled out into the streets and 3 people were shot.
Boxing, a gentleman's sport.
Boxing, a gentleman. Yeah, it's the sport of kings.
Like that's what boxing's known for. Like the more
it's the sweet science.
It really is.
The sweet science of kicking and pulling over ropes and shooting people in the streets.
It's the gentleman's sport to watch, whereas the MMA is like if you wear Axe body spray. That's what Axe body spray bros.
If you wear your sunglasses on top of your hat. That's
or on the
you
back
are,
of your fucking neck.
Or on the back of your neck.
What are you doing,
Either
dickhead?
one.
Stop wearing white sunglasses, by the way. You look like an asshole.
You do. White Oakleys, that's over.
You're dumb.
Or Arnett's or whatever. We're done with that.
And the white fucking, the snow camo, eat shit. Just get some fucking black sunglasses, dickhead.
That's true. I like that. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Now that we've pissed off a bunch of people who are probably aggressive and also have brain
damage. And that's
damage.
what it is, too.
That's good.
It's guys that hit girls. That's who watch MMA.
Well, that's not a broad blanket, is it? I like that. I love it because you know me. I'll paint with a broad brush. I don't give a fuck. Broad
I
strokes,
just found
baby.
the biggest one we've got.
But that's pretty
I
good.
pulled the biggest one out of the toolbox.
That's the broadest stroke ever. I'm not sure the
guys that hit chicks. Watch that shit.
All of them. Here you go. Apparently they do. So there you go. So December 13th. Mm-hmm. December 13th, like I said, 1991, he fights Tillery again.
Okay.
Here, rematch.
After a fucking riot.
After a riot, they said, let's bring those 2 fine gentlemen
remember when
back.
there was 3 people fucking shot?
Let's do that again.
Let's run that one again.
Move it up to Atlantic City, though.
Let me play that song again. No!
Wow. So he fights him here. Bowe wins by TKO in round 4. So he's 28-0. His next 2 fights are in April and May of '92 against non-linkers.
Yeah.
They're total tune-up fights. A guy named Conroy Nelson of Canada.
Yeah.
He sounds white and slow. And Everett Martin he fights.
Again.
He knocks out both of these guys pretty quickly. Knocks out Nelson in a minute 16. TKO's
One of those
Martin.
guys is cross-eyed. I guarantee it.
You know he is. You know he is. Bowe is 30-0 though now at this point. 30-0 and has a portion of the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Life is good. July 18th, 92 with the Mirage in Vegas. He fights Pierre Coetzer, who's a 39-2 record coming into the fight.
Oh, shit.
Bowe wins by TKO in round 7. So that's great.
Give him a
31-0.
chance at the world, like at the biggest one. At this point, 30-0?
30-0, and guess what? He's about to get that.
Yeah.
Here's this huge fight, November 13th, 1992, at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, versus Evander Holyfield.
Fuck.
Now, everybody out there, whether you're a boxing fan or not, you should probably know who Evander Holyfield is. He was super famous. He was on Mike Tyson bit his ear. He was on Burger King commercials and everything else.
He was in Hot Shots.
He was in everything. Yeah, he was really prominent in the 90s, Evander Holyfield, and a great fighter.
He has the most masculine face ever.
He does.
He looks
chiseled.
Just a man.
Like it's made from stone.
Yeah.
He's coming in, he's the WBA and IBF heavyweight champs, and Bowe is the WBC, so this is to unify the titles. This is to be the undisputed world heavyweight champion.
No
which
fucking
is crazy.
arguments.
No arguments. Bowe is 28-0, or Holyfield's 28-0 coming into the fight.
Bowe's fought more.
And Bowe's 31-0.
Wow.
So they pumped him out there so much in that first year. So, I mean, this is someone's going to lose. I remember this was an amazing night here, this fight. It's a complete war.
Yeah.
Amazing fight, back and forth. These two both show they're skilled and have heart and they're badasses. Holyfield goes down in the 11th, actually.
Holy shit.
Round 10 is voted later on as the round of the year by Ring Magazine.
Really?
That's how it's a war. All-out war. If you want to see a good fight, look this up on YouTube, because it's two big guys that can fight, have speed and skill, and are beating the shit out of each other.
Holyfield's
awesome.
so much fun to watch.
I always found him boring as fuck to watch. He's
I
my least
loved
favorite
him.
heavyweight of all time.
He's my favorite.
All I ever wanted to see was Holyfield get knocked out. I fucking hated him. Boring, slow, fucking just plotting.
But the ones that do connect are fucking incredible.
He doesn't knock people out.
That's true.
He's a point fighter. As a heavyweight, I don't want to see a point fighter. I want to see a goddamn knockout.
I loved him.
He's a clincher. He's a fucking headbutter. He's a cheesy.
Maybe that's what Tyson bit him.
I cannot. That is why Tyson bit him. He said, "I got tired of getting fucking headbutted." And if you watch the fight, he's constantly getting headbutted. When Tyson bit his ear, I went, "Good, fucking now punch him once you bit his ear."
Jesus, it's pretty surprising he doesn't have really bad cauliflower ear, because he is always rubbing.
He's always rubbing his head. He's always doing that, which good for him. That's why he talks like he fucking fell out of a 20th story window nowadays, because he's constantly bashing his head into people like an asshole. That's what he gets. So it's a war. Holyfield goes down in the 11th. So if you know anything about Holyfield, he does not go down at all. You can just keep punching him, and he looks like he's out on his feet, but he's not, because he always looks like that because he's punch drunk. It looked over.
I love you insulting my favorite guy.
I hate Evander Holyfield. He was my least favorite fighter growing up. I hated him. I wanted to see anyone knock him out. So I was happy with this fight here. Holyfield goes down in the 11th. It looked over, but Holyfield, goddamn it, he was a great fighter, though. He had a lot of heart. He makes a big comeback, and almost, he looks like he was going to win in the 12th round. It was crazy. Fight goes all 12 rounds. Riddick wins by unanimous decision. Wow. It is Holyfield's first loss. He's the first guy to knock him off his feet. Also here, this makes Bowe the undisputed champion of the world.
The world.
32-0, undisputed champ, king of everything.
Holy shit.
This was the fight where it was like, well, he's not going to beat Holyfield. Yeah. And he beat Holyfield.
And in 92, that means gold fucking everything.
Oh, gold everything. Good absolutely. Carl Kanai.
Yeah.
Bright colors. His
cross colors and Carl Kanai.
Giant orange pants. Just picture that. That's what we're going on there. He is Ring Magazine's Fighter of the Year in 1992. Boxing Writers Association of America Fighter of the Year. He's on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
No kidding.
Which he appears 4 more times between then and 95. He's
all
on
with Jay?
Late Night. With that part. He just missed Johnny Carson. He's on Late Night with David Letterman that year before he
There's
moves.
some respect.
He is Grand Marshal of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You cannot get any more fucking mainstream than
That's
this.
proof right there that if you want a really successful son, you just got to keep making them.
Keep doing it.
Keep making them. Eventually one wins.
Lucky 12. Lucky dozen.
That's incredible.
It's November 30th, 92. There is a giant fluff piece in Sports Illustrated. Yeah. I mean, they're making him out to be the greatest person on the face of the earth. It's called, the name of the piece is Family Man. And it's all about him and his wife and their kids, and they love each other, and they met when they're 14, and they've never strayed from one another, and everything's perfect.
Except for those teachers and shit.
You know, what a regular guy he is. He says, you know, he doesn't have an entourage, and they during the thing, he's like...
Yeah, you do. It's your whole fucking
you
family.
You have a lot of them. Yeah, they're all your whole street. He's pumping gas for his Jeep, and he says, you know, can you believe this? The heavyweight champion of the world pumping his own gas.
Driving a Jeep.
Isn't this amazing? Driving a Jeep Cherokee.
Right.
He says that in this thing it says that Bowe said he's never taken a drink, never done a drug, never fooled around with any other women.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's just such a great guy.
Salt of the earth. From fucking Brooklyn.
Not only that, he's financially secure for the rest of his life, even if he never fights again, they're saying. His earnings have been channeled into a variety of conservative investments, and his children already have trust funds to pay for college, which is precisely where Riddick and Judy plan to head this winter when they will both enroll at Howard University. He's going to go to college, loves his wife, never had a drink, he's got everything set up, financially secure forever. He is perfect.
He's the one.
He is perfect. He says here, oh, by the way, they're building a house here. They're also building a house. It's got a big RB on the Iron Gate, big Riddick Bowe, which is a terrible sign whenever anybody does that, as we know from Jason Williams. Indoor swimming pool, boxing ring, 25-seat movie theater, and a 10-car garage.
So he's financially set, and he's spent so much.
It doesn't even matter. He said it's okay. His financial advisor, Jeff Fried, who I guarantee you is silver-haired, said, quote, what Riddick always says is that he wants to take care of his responsibilities first, and then he can have some fun with his money. He says the idea is just to give each of his 5 children $1 million when they graduate. He said he might even buy them a house, too.
Okay.
But if they don't show the determination to get to college, he's going to keep his money in his pocket, he says. Can I just say this now? Grace. Holy shit, this is as grace as you get.
That's it.
You're the Grand Marshal of Thanksgiving Day Parade, undisputed world champion, and they say you're the nicest guy on earth. Holy fuck, grace.
Good for him.
You can't get any grace. Now things get a little wacky from here. This is when he loses his mind.
Yeah.
This is when the brain damage starts really setting in. Before he fought Holyfield, there was a deal in place where it was kind of a mini tournament. He'd fight Holyfield, and then Lennox Lewis would fight Donovan Razor Ruddock, who one of my favorite names for a boxer.
Maybe the best one.
I love Razor Ruddock, too. He was a bad son of a bitch. Tyson kicked his ass a couple of times, but he always hung in there. He was
maybe
real tough.
That's why I thought Riddick Bowe fought him.
Razor Ruddock. Riddick, that makes sense here. So the thing that they're going to do is whoever wins these fights, like a little tournament, they're going to fight, and then so it should be Lennox Lewis, who beat Ruddock.
Right. There's a bracket involved.
Exactly. Should be Lewis and Bowe. That's who everybody wants to see. It's the Olympic rematch. It's the whole deal. But after this, they start making funny little things like Bowe's manager, Rock Newman. Here's his proposal to Lennox Lewis. The $32 million purse HBO is offering, which is funny because you know what McGregor and Mayweather just made, and this was a huge fight, and only $32 million. Should be good. They recommend a 90-10 split in Bowe's favor. Of course, Lewis said it was absurd because he's British. He said it's absurd. And then he didn't do it. He called it absurd, which I thought was great. Lewis's manager, Frank Maloney, said rejected another offer of just $2 million for Lewis. So $30 million, you get 2, which is even less than 90-10. That's even worse. Tell you what, you won't take 10%? How about we give you 3%? How's that sound? Wow. So the WBC, the one of the belts he has.
You can either have 10% or you can have $3 million.
How's that?
$2 million. It was $2 million.
Yeah. What do you think?
Look, you can get 10% or $2 million. Your choice.
Your choice. Either one.
What kind of shit is this?
Either.
No.
So you don't want 10%, which is more. So I'll give you less. How's that? Is that a negotiation? WBC said that they have until December 13th to reach an agreement.
Yeah.
Or else the fight would not happen, and they would strip Bowe of the title for not facing Lewis. So December 14th, 1992, Bowe holds a huge press conference where he dumps his WBC belt into a garbage can.
Holy shit.
He says, if Lewis wants the belt, he has to get it out of the garbage. Then we will call him Garbage Picker. That's his quote.
Garbage Picker.
Garbage Picker.
Wait, he's a bully now?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the WBC declared Lennox Lewis the new heavyweight champion.
Wow.
And we have an in their own words on this from Riddick. In their own words, quote, The WBC is wrong, and I will not be intimidated by them. I am the heavyweight champion of the world, and I withdraw my recognition of the WBC. For as long as I am champion, I will not recognize or defend this dishonest belt. Wow, somebody wrote that shit for him. But we find out later on that Boxing Insider magazine confirmed that it was actually only a toy belt that had been dumped in the trash, and that those people actually retrieved it after the cameras were turned off. But he made his point of it, so he pulled like a wrestling move of putting the guard. They did that in wrestling, dropping things. I feel like that's where he got that from, because they did that back in the day.
That was a great idea, guys. I'm going to fucking yank that.
Vince McMahon's kind of a smart guy.
Right.
So we have an in their own words. This is on Lennox Lewis. They're like, why don't you think Lewis is worthy of fighting you? And God damn it, in their own words, quote, "You've been around boxing, right? Well, you never see him with a woman, do you?
Oh, shit.
I think the heavyweight champ should be the man of men. I could get Lewis now. If I could get Lewis now, I can retire happy. I want him not just for the title, but for the Olympic gold." So he's saying he's gay, and I'll still kick his ass, even though I won't fight him. Wow.
That's hysterical.
Bowe would
you
later...
heard his accent. He's clearly gay.
Obviously. Look at him.
He sounds...
You don't see his brood of children following him around, do you? So clearly gay. You don't have 6 kids by the time you're 25? Must be gay. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Lennox is like the sweetest man on earth.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's great.
Gay or not, he's fine. So Bowe later on would blame this on Rock Newman, this whole stunt. He's like, it wasn't my idea. It was Rock Newman.
Rock told me to call him a queer.
I don't know nothing. February 6, 1993, Madison Square Garden. He fights Michael Dokes, who is a possible future Crime and Sports episode. I'll tell you that. He is 53-2 coming into the fight.
50
wins. Losses,
3 losses.
2 draws coming into the fight. Bowe wins by TKO in about 2 minutes, 19 seconds in round 1. 33-0 at this point here. Huge deal.
Yeah.
February 23rd, 93, Bowe travels with a bunch of people. He charters a flight, pays $94,000 to charter a flight. This is actually a good thing to go to Mogadishu in Somalia to try to give them things, to help. He said it was to lift morale for the troops there, and he also, he posed with kids and soldiers and all that kind of thing. And also, they brought in $1.8 million worth of medicine to be distributed on that flight from a charity organization.
Penicillin.
I believe that would be there. Yeah, that's what it would be worth. March 1st, 1993, he appears on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What the shit?
That's as mainstream as you get here. It's season 3. The episode's called You Bet Your Life. Will and Carlton stop in a cafe casino on the way to visit a potential college for Will to attend. While there, Carlton becomes obsessed with hitting the jackpot on a slot machine in the back with absolutely no success. When the next person to use the machine wins, Carlton freaks out and accidentally rips the man's shirt. That man just happens to be Riddick Bowe in a guest appearance. Unfortunately for Will, he was the one who had to take the knockout blow instead of Carlton. That's the description. Will Smith getting knocked out by Riddick Bowe.
All right.
That brings us to May 22nd, 93. He's fighting in RFK Stadium in D.C.
Wow.
Stadium. Yeah, he's fighting Jesse Ferguson, who's a 26-18
RFK,
career.
that's where the fucking Redskins play.
Where they used to play. Yeah. They shut it down.
Right.
Now it's, I think the Nationals then played there for a while. I think they have a stadium now. Bowe wins in round 2, 17 seconds in. Quick knockout here, 34-0. June 1993, Ray Mercer, who's I think he's an Olympic gold medalist or silver medalist and a pretty famous heavyweight here. He had a fight with Jesse Ferguson, where also, too, Bowe had one and so did Mercer, where it was a warm-up fight for him, and he was supposed to beat Mercer, and Mercer's supposed to beat Ferguson and then face Bowe. But during the fight, during a clinch, Mercer offers Ferguson $100,000 to take a dive.
What? So, in the middle of the fight?
In the middle of the fight.
That's
during
awesome.
a clinch. So Ferguson ends up winning the fight. He says no and ends up knocking Mercer out.
Amazing.
Mercer in June of 93 is arrested for this, for trying to fix a fight. So that's pretty crazy. So not only did he not get a shot at the title, he lost and got arrested.
And blew it.
What an idiot. So late 1993.
That's a great story.
That's crazy, right?
How did I never know that?
I never knew it either till now. And I followed boxing. Late 93.
He fought Holmes a few times, didn't he?
Who, Mercer?
I feel like
think he fought Larry Holmes, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Late 93, Riddick Bowe boxing video game comes out. So you got a video game named after you. That's hot shit.
deal.
Rematch against Holyfield, November 6, 93 in Caesars Palace in Vegas.
Okay.
Rematch. Bowe is overweight as shit.
I love it.
He entered training camp. This isn't the fight, but training camp at 266 pounds,
Jesus,
which is just a fat fuck for
Christ.
him. He weighed, at the fight, he weighed 246 pounds, which is 11 pounds heavier than his first fight with Holyfield, which is a bad sign here. During this fight, do we know the parachute guy that drops in on sporting events? James Fanman Miller. He drops into the fight. It's an open-air arena. He drops in, landing. He hits the ropes by Bowe's corner.
This I remember.
This was crazy. This is a crazy scene. You can look it up on YouTube. The whole thing turns into a mess. There's a half-hour delay.
He wanted to land right in the middle.
Yeah, and he missed it.
Lucky on the fucking rope.
He's lucky he didn't pull an Owen Hart. He's lucky he didn't pull an Owen Hart and land on the ring post and kill himself. Falling from the sky.
Impale himself.
Yeah, exactly. It's worse.
Horrible.
So, the huge delay, half-hour delay. The whole thing was a goddamn mess. They all just kind of watched him float in because you're watching the fight, and then they all just stop. Yeah. And you're like, why is everybody stopping? And then this guy falls in the ring. Oh, okay, I see what happened here. The whole thing turns into a huge mess here. The Miller, the guy who jumps out, jumps down with the parachute, is grabbed by a bunch of members of Bowe's team because he falls over there, and Bowe's wife at the time was pregnant and sitting right there.
Yeah.
And so he fell and was like falling onto her. She freaked out and fainted. So there was a huge crowd, and the whole thing, they had to take her by a gurney to the ambulance.
Jesus.
And then they had to go back in the fight.
Right.
So now Bowe's got to go in and fight after they just took his pregnant wife away.
My pregnant wife just fainted.
And there's a half-hour delay, so the whole thing's whacked out and weird. Like, it's a fucking mess.
So horrible.
Fight goes the distance.
Jesus.
It's a super close fight. One of those fights you could watch and go, I don't fucking know who won. You could ask 10 people, and everybody's got a different opinion on what happened.
And also, too, you don't remember the first part because you had
Who knows?
half-hour break.
Exactly. Holyfield wins this fight by majority decision, so it's not even a unanimous. This brings Bowe to 34-1. This is his only career loss.
Wow.
Only career loss. Right after this, they move into a $7 million, 32,000-square-foot mansion that we talked about.
Shit.
That's ridiculous.
That's too much.
That is too much. You do not need 32,000 square feet at all. Stop
what
it.
What a life of excess, though.
It is. It's super excess.
And it's in the 90s, so it's just decorated horribly.
Oh, terrible.
So
Zebra
bad.
shit everywhere. It's
fuck.
awful, awful stuff.
So many yellow and pink and green things.
Man, son Julius is born at this point also.
Great.
That's the one she was pregnant with. Now, we have an in their own words from this period. I think it's important going forward. In their own words, quote, I just want to be loved. Through this whole ordeal, all the trials and tribulations, I guess in all honesty, I just want everybody to love me. If I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't go through all this. You don't want people to dislike you because you're successful. You don't want them to dislike you because you've worked hard and made something of yourself. I don't think that's fair.
No, we dislike you because you're going to blow it, you dipshit.
He's definitely going to blow it here. Next fight is against Buster Mathis Jr., smaller guy, 6 foot, but he's tough. He's 14-0 coming in, Mathis.
All right.
Mathis frustrates Bowe a lot through the whole thing. He's a bobbing, weaving guy. He's a smaller guy, frustrates Bowe. What ends up happening is he knocks Mathis down, and while he's down, Bowe pops him again and knocks him out.
Oh, damn.
And it's ruled an accidental blow by Arthur Mercanti Sr., the referee, and the bout is ruled a no contest.
Okay.
So there's nobody wins. It's just he's still 34-1. But that was kind of a big deal because everyone thought he should have probably been disqualified for that one. December 3rd, 94. He's got a fight against Larry Donald the next day.
Yeah.
And there's a press conference, and this is a crazy press conference here. They're standing at the dais, both of them. They're up there. Donald's in a suit and tie, looking like he works at a bank. Yeah. And Bowe's got like a T-shirt on, looking like he just came from the gym, and they're standing there. Donald looks like he's got his hands behind his back, like looking as professional. Like he looks like he's in the military and someone put a suit on him, and he's just very like proper. And they're standing there talking, kind of smiling, and, taking pictures. And Bowe says something to him, and you just see Donald he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and says something real mild. Like, doesn't look like he said, fuck you. Yeah. He was just like, oh, I don't know, whatever. And you see Bowe turn to him and say something, another sentence, and Donald turns like he doesn't, like, confused. Yeah. He just looks at him confused, like he doesn't understand.
Are we going to fight right now?
Still got his hands behind his back, Donald. Riddick unleashes a fucking left and right combination.
Wow.
So fast. Left hook and a right hand on Donald. just unsuspecting, standing there in a suit for no reason. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch. It's on YouTube.
Know what
watch
Donald
it.
said.
It's crazy. Looks like he said nothing. Literally looks like he said, "What'd you say?" And then the guy knocked him, and then he started punching him.
Probably said something like, "Yeah, your mama's a whore."
It honestly looked like he didn't hear him.
Yeah.
It's like he had like a delay, and he looked up like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Like what happened? Like did I miss something?" And then the guy just looks like Riddick wanted to make. He wanted some attention for the fight. It's at Caesar's Palace. Donald is 16-0 coming in, so he's a big contender.
Sure.
This fight goes all 12.
Jesus.
So Donald's a tough son of a bitch here. Bowe wins by unanimous decision. He's also later sued in civil court for punching him
assault.
in the press conference. He fights a guy named Herbie Hyde in Vegas, who was 26-0 coming in.
Who's another guy that we're probably going to have to talk about.
Yeah, possibly here, but he wins this 2 minutes and 25 seconds of round 6. So Bowe's 36-1. June 17th, 95, he fights Jorge Luis Gonzalez.
Okay.
Remember him? He's the guy who beat Lewis
Yeah.
and him in the Pan American Games. He's a Cuban here. He's 31-8 professionally. This guy was 220-13 as an amateur.
Jesus.
Holy shit. This is wild here. Pre-fight shit's insane. Gonzalez is coming in with a crazy haircut, dressing all in black, looking like a lunatic, and declaring a desire to, quote, eat Bowe's heart, and calling himself a lion and calling Bowe a hyena, saying he's going to eat his heart.
So Mike Tyson wasn't even original.
He
with
was
I'm
not
gonna eat
original.
Your children. This guy is the original lunatic.
You don't need to say I'm going to eat your heart. He could have just said, I beat you once.
Right.
That's plenty of shit
I'm
talking.
gonna do it again.
Didn't I beat you once,
Right.
motherfucker?
Who are you?
Didn't I take your gold medal from you? That's all you need to say.
Right.
That's it right there. Bowe wins by TKO in round 6, 37-1.
So much for that heart you're going to eat.
During this time, while training for that fight, there's an incident that his wife brings up later. While disciplining their oldest son, obviously Riddick Jr., who's 8 at this time, Bowe gets mad and rips a cord, the power cord from the television set in the hotel. And
in a hotel? It's not even his own TV.
In a hotel. No, he's ripping cords out. Oh, this is terrible. Duct tapes his son's hands and feet and whips him with a cord.
What the fuck?
That's fucking torture. That's not even like I lost my mind a little bit and spanked him.
Right.
That's you tied him up and torturously beat him with a cord.
That's bananas.
That's fucking next level bananas and not nearly the craziest thing he's going to do, by the way,
fuck?
here. He November 4th, 95 at Caesar's Palace is the third and final fight with Holyfield finally. This is another battle, an absolute battle. Bowe is actually knocked down during the fight, which he keeps fighting on. This is the only knockout for Evander Holyfield.
Really?
The fight is stopped in the 8th round, 58 seconds in TKO.
Yeah.
Bowe was just owning him. Holyfield had to have been out on his feet. He was just taking shot after shot after shot after shot and standing there and taking it. It was disturbing to watch, and you know why he talks like he does now.
Yeah.
He really does. That didn't help any. Now, January 18th, 1996, he's stripped of the WBO title he won. It's some shit title he won a couple fights ago because he fights Andrew Golota instead of their number one contender. Andrew Golota here. This fight's crazy. July 11th, 1996, fights Andrew Golota, who's 28-0 coming in. Okay. Bowe weighs 243 pounds at this fight. Again, too big. He's sluggish. Golota's kicking his ass.
Yeah.
He really is. But Golota doesn't really like to follow the rules all the time because he keeps hitting Bowe low. Okay. He keeps punching him in the dick over and over again. He's repeatedly warned, and finally the referee starts deducting points from Golota for hitting him in the dick.
That's when you've hit a lot of dick.
Finally, in the 7th round, early in the round here, he takes a third point from Golota. He's lost 3 points after being warned a whole bunch. So this is like 5 nut shots.
Yeah.
He warns Golota, if you do it again, the fight's over. Golota continues to just attack his nutsack. He'll do like shot to the face, and it's not even like, oh, that was a little below the belt. It's like a big uppercut to the nut bag. It's the ridiculous. Like, he's got it in for his ball bag. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, he's
his wife
a vendetta for it.
Are we sure that Riddick's wife didn't hire him?
Jesus, maybe he's trying to stop him from having more fucking kids.
No more
kids
children.
Here.
Just keep slugging him in the balls.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what his attraction to Bowe's nutsack is,
crazy.
and it's only Bowe's. He just needs to hit Bowe in the dick. The referee disqualifies him after this, and that's when shit goes off the rails.
Really?
There's a fucking riot. An absolute riot. The ring just fills up with people. Both the teams are going
Why is
nuts.
it stopped? Smell his gloves. It smells like that guy's ball sweat. Like, that's why it's over.
Galata got hit. You can see it in the video, too. One of Bowe's people just beating Galata with a radio and over the head, and he needed 11 stitches, like a two-way, like a walkie-talkie for when they're coordinating to come out. He's just holding it by the antenna, just beating him over the head. Oh, my God. You could see that, and it's insane. People are going fucking nuts. It was wild. I mean, Galata takes a swing at the Rock Newman guy because he's in the middle of everything. Yeah. Lou Duva, the famous old boxing trainer, little tiny white-haired guy. You see him on the ground. They're pulling him out of the ring, putting him on a fucking stretcher. There's riots. There's fights all over the crowd. Wow. It's batshit. It takes a long time to get everybody out of the ring, and they finally, announce the winner. Yeah. It's a fucking mess, this whole thing. 22 people are injured. 16 people are arrested. Wow. And Rock Newman is suspended for a year and fined $250,000 by the State Athletic Commission for attacking people. Nuts. So the 3 members of Riddick's entourage were arrested in the melee in this whole deal here.
And that's crazy. Your team won. Why are you losing your shit like that?
Because he's just, I don't know what the deal was, but
just walk
he
away
kept
a
attacking
winner.
his nuts. Well, when he hit him in the nuts the last time there, Bowe fell on the ground. I mean, he popped him good, and everybody got mad, and that's what pissed him off. And Galata was winning. He was ahead on all the scorecards. That's what made no sense. Like, you don't have to hit him in the nuts. You're winning.
Doing that for?
He's kicking his ass. Yeah. If you watch the round, it's just like pop, 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 pop to the face, and Bowe's taking it, and then he's just like, I'll hit you in the balls. Like, why are you hitting him in the balls? His face is so much more open. Yeah. So, anyway, Bowe wins by DQ. He's 39-1. The event is called the Riot at the Garden. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a mess. So, December 14th, 96, let's fight Galata again. One more time here. This is in the 9th round. Guess what happens? Galata is unbelievable. He is disqualified again for continually attacking Riddick Bowe's nutsack in another fight. Again, ahead on all scorecards.
How does he do this?
He can't help it. He can't. He's like, I hate his balls. Right. I need to beat them. I need them. So anyway, he wins this fight too, Bowe, by round 9 here. A sports writer, Galata's a Polish guy. Yeah. A sports writer called him Foul Pole as his nickname, which is terrible. Awful fucking nickname. That? That's a sports writer's sense of humor. That's pathetic.
The shit?
Yeah, so that he wins that fight. He's 40-1, Riddick Bowe. That is his last fight for 8 years.
Really?
He announces his retirement at age 29. After the fight,
I'd really love to fight more, but my balls can't take it.
Actually, it's worse because during the post-fight interview of this fight, you can hear his speech. He sounds hammered. Really? He sounds drunk as shit. He's 29, and his brain is, you can tell it's not great at all. So what do you do at this point, okay? This is December of 96. You retire from boxing. You're 29 years old. You have tons of millions of dollars, 32,000 square foot house, wife, kids. Everyone thinks you're the greatest guy on earth. You've been on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You've done all this stuff. What would a guy like that do you think? What would you do?
That's 7 years ago for me. I wouldn't have any idea. Yeah, I'd be...
Rest.
I'm 36 now. That's what I want now is rest. Lots of it.
On February 9th, 1997...
Ice my balls for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, he takes a really opposite approach to the whole thing. On February 9th, 1997, Bowe and his friend Dion Jordan joined the Marine Corps.
What?
Because that's what you do.
You're 29, you're going to go try and be in the same physical shape as guys that are 18?
And also, too, aren't rich.
Right. You don't have to.
What the fuck are you doing?
Why are you doing that?
We have a Major Rick Mill, who's one of the Marine guys. He says, quote, I don't think he'll find himself in any position to be a celebrity. He'll just be a Marine. Shit.
Dude, this isn't Stripes. You can't just... And also, too, they did that because they didn't have anything.
And it's ridiculous, too, because he shouldn't even have been able to join. They did a waiver for him because you can't join past 28. He's 29. His weight, 250 pounds at 6'5", is 20 pounds over the weight cutoff for his height. And also, too, he has a wife and 5 dependent children, and the limit's 3.
Really?
So they had to do a waiver for all of this shit. They say he won't be a Marine for too long because he's going to box again later in the year. There's going to be boot camp followed by a training session through the summer. He'll attend drills in Washington with his reserve unit 1 weekend a month. And he's like the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year thing.
One of his high friends was just like, you want to lose that last 20? Let's just get you in the Marines. They can do it,
man. Yeah,
they can get you down.
He will be on the active reserve for 3 years and inactive reserve for 5 more. but if he retires from boxing, he could become a full-time Marine later. His wife, Judy, said, quote, this would be interesting to see. She said, quote, we'll live off base. I think you have a 32
years and 5 years. That is 8 years.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a Major Rick Long here. He says, quote, he was a 29-year-old millionaire, which makes sense here. Going from that lifestyle to being a Marine recruit where the average age is 19 is quite a transition. Just being told what to do, when to do it, and how fast to do it, has to be very difficult for him. This lasts 11 days. Mm-hmm. He is out in 11 days. Of course. He's a Marine for 11 days. We have it in their own words on his explanation.
Yeah.
In their own words.
They wake up way too early.
Yeah, in their own words, quote, I thought they'd probably give you a hard time for a week or so. I didn't understand that for the 12 weeks you're in boot camp, somebody was going to be up in your face. Have you never seen fucking Full Metal Jacket? What is wrong with you? Sergeant Chuck DeMar of the Marines said, quote, he has been released at his own request. It was just that he couldn't handle the regimented training lifestyle. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Listen to how stupid he is, too, at this point.
He's fat.
He's fat, he's lazy, he's rich. He just doesn't know. He has 5 kids, that's part of it too. HBO, after he's discharged, offers him like a total safety net.
Yeah.
So literally they say, we want to make sure you don't run out of money. They say that it was very obvious that he was having problems in and out of the ring. So they make a deal with him to be a boxing ambassador where he would do personal appearances and a little bit of broadcasting. So basically nothing.
Yeah.
It's a multi-year agreement, so he would have some steady income. He did it for about 6 months, and then they said he, quote, sort of drifted off and lost interest.
He can't do it.
Just can't do it. I can't do anything. He should have stayed doing that because he's starting to have real problems now. Like February of 97, police are called after a physical altercation between Bowe and his sister Thelma.
Oh, God.
Riddick ends up filing battery charges against her.
Really?
Before dropping them within 24 hours. Apparently, Thelma, it's multiple articles. It's Thelma and Velma, so I don't know which one it is. We'll call her Thelma. Apparently, Thelma taunted him before punching him in the mouth and drawing blood. Okay. And so then he grabbed her, and this ensued here. So March 7th, 1997, this is the next month, Riddick announces that he wants to try the Marines again. Says he wants to be a Marine. He said, all I can think about is becoming a Marine. If they gave me an opportunity, I know I can do it.
Jesus.
And they don't give him an opportunity, and he doesn't do it because he can't do it.
No, we've already seen that. It takes 11 days for him not to do it.
August of 1997, Bowe is charged with assaulting his wife, Judy, punching her in the face and back and shoving her across the room. He is charged with second-degree assault. There is a handwritten statement to police from his wife, Judy, from August 26, 1997, where she wrote, quote, he assaulted me in our home by punching me in the face and back. He shoved me across the room also. He has assaulted me on numerous occasions, but I have never reported them. I'm afraid to go back by myself because he has threatened me.
Sweet Pete.
Shit is deteriorating.
Yeah.
September 97, Judy takes all the kids, packs them up, and moves them to North Carolina. Gets the fuck out of there. Riddick moves out of his 32,000 square foot house. He still has it. Moves down the street to his mother's basement. That's where he's moved to. He's just regressing. He's going to get a Nintendo, or just Nintendo. He's going to play his own video game.
His Sega Genesis. And,
pizza boxes everywhere. He visits the kids, and the kids visit him during school vacations. Bowe goes to visit him. He takes him to the movies and toy stores and hangs out with his daughters, does all that kind of shit. Thanksgiving Day 1997. Yeah. Day after Thanksgiving, the morning after Thanksgiving, bunch of drinking. Yeah. Still from the night before. They're drinking.
Black Friday sales for him.
No. They're not doing any of that. He's got a nephew, Joey, that's at the house here. Joey begins apparently beating up one of the family's elderly uncles with a beer can. What? Which is a really odd thing that's going on. That's a weird
weapon to choose.
That's some holiday activity there. Come here, Uncle Frank. Started beating him with a beer can. He went on. Then Joey went into the kitchen for a knife.
Oh, fuck. That's a much better weapon.
Yeah, and then also Joey was then threatening Bowe's mother, Dorothy.
Oh, my God.
So Riddick steps in. Yeah. He says, quote, what was I supposed to do, let him hurt my mama?
Yeah, no.
Fair enough. Yeah. She said, she taught me to give it right back. That's how we expressed ourselves in my family, by throwing down. Quote, it's my nature to whoop ass. That's what he says. So
we know. So does your son's ass. His ass knows.
He whoops Joey's ass.
And then duct taped him and beat him with an electric cord.
Your wife knows. knows, and Andrew Galata knows, and we all know.
Everybody knows it's in your... Except for the Marine Corps.
They don't know shit. They don't know anything because you weren't there long enough to show them anything. So he beats up his nephew, Joey, and he is charged with assault. Joey's real name is Horace Bowe. Joey's better.
Go by Joey.
He's a 23-year-old. He has outstanding warrants for assault, harassment, menacing, unlawful imprisonment, and trespassing.
For being a problem.
And Joey's sister, now this isn't even Riddick's sister, this is Joey's sister, Keisha, says, quote, Riddick done everything for Joey. He bailed him out of jail, paid for him to get a GED diploma, took him to training camp, but all Joey wants is Riddick's money.
Jesus.
Yes, he wants his money. Riddick wants his family, as we're going to find out here.
Yeah.
On February 25th, 1998, Riddick Bowe gets in his Lincoln Navigator, and he drives to Cornelius, North Carolina, where his wife is. He's got his brother Aaron Wright with him, who's his actual birth father's same thing, because it's his father's name.
Same parents.
They were carrying a buck knife, a flashlight, pepper spray, and duct tape.
He's getting his kids back,
This
whether
is
they
not
like
great.
it or not.
It's still dark out. They're driving through the streets. It's early morning. They park and stop where Bowe's 3 oldest kids get the bus to school.
Yeah.
And he saw their kids, and he got them into the truck. So he's got 3 of his kids. He gets them into the truck. He drives to the wife's house here. He says he wants to be reunited with the wife. So he goes in. He left his brother in the car with the children, car running, the whole deal.
Listen, she moved many states away. Leave the car running. This will only take a sec to convince her that I love her.
He pushes his way through the door, goes into his wife's bedroom. She's in her pajamas. She says, quote, the way he came at me and his tone of voice made me do what he said.
Yeah.
He's a big, imposing son of a bitch here.
I convinced her.
His 7-year-old daughter, Brenda, would later say that she remembered seeing her father come out of the house with her mother, and he had his hand on her neck, and she was crying. That's a bad sign right there. That's like, what's going on with Mom? Oh, they're getting better.
She
I don't
was
think
so happy to see me. She started crying.
Yeah, I don't know. Why has he got her by the neck? Ooh, this is bad. So Aaron drives, the brother. Bowe sits in the back of the truck with Judy and the 5 kids. Yeah. There's multiple rows. At one point, he takes the knife out and jabs it through Judy's coat and stabs her a little bit in like her breast area, drawing blood.
Jesus.
Actually, like not deep enough to be whatever, but
just
enough to draw blood, which is insane. And he says, "quote If you have a boyfriend, I'm going to kill him, and I'm going to kill you as well."
Holy shit!
So he has lost his motherfucking mind.
It's off the rails.
Off the rails. They cross the border into Virginia. Judy asks if they could stop at a McDonald's for something to eat. So they stop at the McDonald's. She goes in, says she has to use the bathroom. While she's in the bathroom, she gets somebody's cell phone and calls she doesn't call the cops. She calls her cousin in North Carolina for some fucking reason. Her cousin calls the cops. Yeah. The whole deal. But problem here is they crossed lines into Virginia.
That's a big problem.
So now we have a problem here. And he said, too, he thought she just wanted McDonald's. He said that they pulled in McDonald's. He said, I knew something was up when she told me her order was going to take a long time. Then he said, she wasn't getting a sandwich. She was calling the cops. Next thing you know, there's like 20 police cars at McDonald's. You'd have thought I was John Gotti.
No, you're fucking Riddick Bowe.
Kidnapping your family, you fucking lunatic. And they know you're a giant menace, heavyweight champion. Right. One guy's not going to come cuff you, probably. So Judy didn't want him locked up, though. It's crazy.
I knew something was up when she said at the fast food place that her order was going to take a while.
So she wasn't getting a sandwich. She was calling the police.
That lying bitch.
That's amazing, man. Judy doesn't want him locked up. Bowe gives her the keys to the Navigator, says, you take my car, which is super weird. He calls up Rock Newman, silver-haired, middle-aged, coming to the rescue, who sends a limousine to pick him up and take him to the psychiatric ward at Howard University Hospital by limo.
Have him drop you off there in a
How many people pull up to the mental institution in a limo?
I mean, I'm sure people have, but they stole it.
Yeah, exactly. They like crashed it into the place. Yeah. It's like Henry Hill in Goodfellas when he pops in and pops the pills and he goes, now take me to jail. That's the same thing. Now take me to the fucking loony bin. He stays there a week. He gets depressed. He's depressed. He needs counseling. He says after that they sent him to a battered women's program in Baltimore, which I would keep him the fuck far away from that place.
Keep him away from women that have been beaten.
Judy later says in an interview, let's find out what her state of mind is in this whole thing. She says, quote, I was in fear for my life the whole time. He showed me the knife and other stuff he had and said he came ready. He said if I didn't do what he said, he'd use the knife and the other things he had. All the way on the drive, he kept saying we'd go back to be a happy family and things would be normal. I kept thinking, how can anything be normal if he's kidnapping us to take us back home with him? That never dawned on him.
Well, at least somebody's thinking rationally, because that's when all normal family goes away.
Well, he said that her mother said, if you were a real man, you go get her.
Yeah.
Her mother, Judy's mother. So he was like, I guess I'm supposed to go get her. Like, literally, he said that. And
I'm
even
going to need pepper spray.
And Judy's mom said that, too. Like, I didn't mean for him to go kidnap her. I just said you go there and you declare, I don't know, stand outside with a boombox like John Cusack rather than get a buck knife and some pepper spray. I'm not sure here. Judy is unhurt, besides a little cut. Right. She refuses medical attention and also declines to press charges. Okay. She declines to press charges, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, because it's interstate line.
He crossed interstate lines. It makes an interstate domestic violence thing. The FBI is called in, and he is arrested for kidnapping, which is bad. Kidnapping his whole family. She also gives some other details. She says, quote, Riddick knocked me out in front of my 3-year-old last April. I was out cold for several minutes. It never fazed Riddick. He thought nothing of it. So he's gone off the fucking deep end, man. His manager, Rock Newman, denies that he'd ever been physically abusive to his wife, like he would know. He says, quote, Riddick, if he had it his way right now, would erase whatever pain that he caused his wife and family, and they'd be together as they have been in the best of times as one big happy family.
I'm sure anybody that's punched their wife would love to erase it.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Here's the thing, it doesn't go away because you have memory and pain. You remember that shit.
Yeah, well, also, too, on top of that, she said that, like, the beginning when he was lining people up with the Rolex and all that, she said that behavior got worse. He became more obsessed, more controlling, more issues of control were his thing.
Yeah.
Bowe, you want to hear his explanation on this whole thing? Hear what he had to say? Let's do it in their own words here. In their own words, quote, I never thought it would turn out like this. I had spoken to Judy the night before. I was like, oh, baby, I love you. I made mistakes. I just want you to come home. The bottom line is that Judy said, Bowe, you ain't never getting no more of this pussy. Man, I didn't know what to do. I said to myself, it's time to get her because there must be someone else in the picture. I should have been charged with a crime of passion. You had a man in love with his kids, with his wife. I had nobody to talk to, so I did the next best thing, which was to go get them and show them I love them. Holy shit.
That must be the best sex he's ever had. It has to be.
Bowe, you ain't never getting no more of this pussy. I love that line.
I want that tattoo. That's
hilarious. Phenomenal line here.
You ain't never getting no more of this.
Ain't never getting no more of this pussy, Bowe. He calls him by the last. He calls himself the last. He always calls himself Bowe, as we'll find out from Twitter later, too.
Hilarious.
He's a fucking menace on Twitter. He's awesome. So May 12th, 1998, he's in court to answer for the assault on his nephew, Joey, there. Joey has all sorts of outstanding shit going on, too. Listen to this shit, what scumbags these people are in his family. Joey sees Riddick outside the courtroom and falls on the floor and fakes that he hit him. What? He tries to pretend that Riddick hit him. He's just standing there in a suit going to court. And his brother said, this is crazy, William Wright, who's another one of his siblings here, said, quote, he had a flashback of when Riddick beat him up. That was the excuse for it. He said, and Wright here, who's 33 years old, began to shriek when the court officers brought in, when Riddick was there. He shrieked to the court, please, court officers, help me. He said, I had to scream so he wouldn't put his hands on me. Unbelievable. Unreal, man.
That's awesome. I don't think your body regresses like a fact of what happened before. Yeah. Like you don't get knocked out over nothing.
Yeah, you get it back and your body makes you fall down.
We got to knock them out.
But you know what? They don't want any ill will here. Yeah. They're, it's fine. They don't want any ill will. William says he wants to broker a deal.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we don't need to do all this. Joey will happily drop the charges against Riddick. This is silly. We're all family. For $1 million.
Of course he will.
Just $1 million. Riddick said Riddick said that he won't pay. He said, quote, how can your family do you like that? Like, no shit.
I think they've done you like that a lot.
Yeah. Riddick,
that's what happens. They'll do you like that when you give them an allowance and buy them homes.
They look at you like you're a cash register. The judge grants Riddick a continuance so he can get new lawyers. He's already paid retainers for new lawyers, including Johnny Cochran, going to come and help him out. Johnny Cochran going to be his going to be his lawyer here. So as he leaves court, there's a reporter with him, and he's like, talking about the case.
Yeah.
And he's singing. He's got like old soul music on, and just out of nowhere, he starts talking about the Marines. He says, quote, the staff sergeant, he had an ego problem, one of those Napoleon complexes.
What?
He said, can you believe this guy said I wasn't doing sit-ups? Hell, I've been doing sit-ups for 20 years. Guy giving me a hard time just because I was Riddick Bowe. Jesus. And then just starts talking about something else. This is from 2 years before that. He's going on.
He's a lunatic.
He's a fucking lunatic here. May 17th, 1998, there is an article in the Daily News about how sad he is that his wife left him. And they're actually trying to get sympathy for him. It's a fluff piece. They're trying to get sympathy for him because his wife left him and then he kidnapped her and she won't come back. It's fucking nuts here. This is when you're talking about he lives in his mother's basement. He says, in their own words, I got to read this because it's nuts. In their own words, quote, don't want to be alone. Can't stand being alone. I got $25 million in the bank. I got cars, Rolexes, jacuzzis. I could have 5 women a night. I could be living anywhere, doing anything. But where am I? Tell me where. Living in my mama's basement. That's where. You take all my fights, all the punches I took, you put that all together and it don't hurt like this. It don't compare to being lonely. I've been with Judy since I was 14. I want her back. I want my kids back. I want to be Big Daddy again. Wow, what a fucking lunatic.
I want to be Big Daddy.
I want to be Big Daddy again.
He's
Holy
screaming
shit.
at the heavens.
And they're
clouds forming and lightning strikes.
And people like Rock Newman starts talking about his brain damage here, saying he's got a slurry voice and he's got sudden anger, strange decisions. One day he sold off his fleet of cars, Bentleys, Corvettes, Rolls Royces, Range Rovers, sold them all off.
Yeah.
And then a month later spent more than $1 million to get him to get new ones.
What?
To get a bunch of new cars.
What a dummy.
Fill his, he's just a nutcase. He's a crazy person here. April 1998, Holyfield sees Bowe at an awards banquet, and he said Holyfield said Bowe was a ghost of the man who had fought him back in the day. Holyfield said it, quote, it was kind of sad. He was slurring his speech. His demeanor was quite different. A guy as young as him, you wonder what happened. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, what happened?
We know what happened.
You delivered
you
a
don't
shitload
get it, but we get it.
You delivered,
you don't get it because
rounds of blows to the head to
you
this
don't
guy.
get it because you've also been punched in the head a bunch.
Yeah, you also drool when you smile, so these things happen. You know what I mean? Everybody happens. Wow. May 98, Judy files for divorce, citing physical abuse. She says, quote, it's always been a rough marriage, but the last few years have gotten worse.
Yeah.
In a marriage, there are always things that happen, but because you love someone, you stick with them and hope things will get better. Things are not getting any better. I didn't see them ever getting any better. Well, no shit. June 4th, 98, is court for kidnapping. His defense team argues that he's had brain damage for years. They said what he did was misguided. They try to give the whole sympathy thing. They said he grew up in a broken home.
Right.
He doesn't want the same thing to happen to his children. He was just trying to get his family back together. Oh, my God. Holy shit.
I just want my family. Pepper spray and knives will do it.
He's got brain damage, the whole deal. They just try to do that. They say she was unhurt, and, come on. What are we doing here? It's just
Nobody
a misunderstanding.
got hurt.
Come on. So
I gave her
a little knife stabby
I
stab.
gave her a navigator, and I took a limo.
Navigator and a stab wound.
And
Those go together.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Maximum sentence for this crime is 10 years imprisonment.
My God.
$250,000 fine. But he's going to plea bargain to reduce this whole deal here. He pleads guilty. He's waiting on sentencing. He's ordered to remain in the house with an electronic bracelet on. He's on house arrest. He could be sentenced, like we said, up to 2 years in prison. Also been ordered to undergo psychological counseling. June 1998, right after that, Bowe sues his manager, Rock Newman, for $55 million, claiming he stole from him.
Oh, boy.
December 1st, 1998, Judge Hovey Johnson puts aside the second-degree assault charge from August of 97 when he punched his wife in the head and back and all that kind of thing. Under the conditions that Bowe have no violent contact with his wife, he has to complete a 10-day psychiatric evaluation and any accompanying treatments. From there, he's allowed to return to Maryland with the house arrest deal here. March 2000. Sentencing day.
Okay.
This is for the kidnapping.
Yeah.
He says to the court, I hope I can get this treatment so I can be a productive member of society. Bowe is sentenced to 30 days in jail.
Wow.
For kidnapping.
That's sweet.
30, I would say. Yeah. That's pretty damn nice there. Sweetheart deal for him. He must also serve 6 months.
But it's in a Thai prison.
It's in a Thai prison. By the way, we will get to Pattaya because we have a Pattaya, Thailand
update?
Tie-in. Not an update, a tie-in with this story.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. 2 weeks in a row. I had no idea till I was into this, too. He also he must serve 6 months house arrest after jail and serve 4 years probation, $50,000 fine. He must continue to get treatment for brain injuries suffered in the ring. He must also promise not to box while on probation to make his fucking brain injuries worse.
Yeah.
Judge Graham Mullen said that brain damage suffered in the ring persuaded him to be lenient with Bowe. And he'll remain free until a spot opens up for him at the federal penitentiary in Butner, North Carolina. Federal authorities will appeal the sentence because federally you can do that, try to get a longer sentence. October 2000, he marries a woman named Terry. Things are going bad. Things are going awful. What do? You fucking get married.
I love it. It's just like a woman named Terry.
Woman named Terry he marries. It doesn't even matter. I know her last name, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
She says, quote, he was everything that I did not expect. You see a guy like him and don't realize just how laid back, how kind he is. A lot of people with similar backgrounds, you might not think they have a great respect for women. But Bowe is just amazing.
And he might be coming into about $55 million.
And he might get a shitload of money. You never know. Who knows?
He's great.
So this is good. At least he's got someone. She loves him. You would think that he wouldn't have great respect for women, but not him. Right. He's amazing.
No, he's terrific.
February 9, 2001. Bowe is arrested on charges that he hit his wife, Terry, in the head, dragged her across the room, and threatened her life.
So much respect for women.
So much respect for women here. He did. He added,
Terry, you're a terrible judge of character.
Yeah, you're an awful judge of character. I can just see her smiling. As she's smiling, a big fist comes across her face.
So
like, Terry, come on.
What did you do, Terry?
Jesus, you poor lady.
You made a terrible decision.
No. He pleads not guilty to these assault charges. His lawyer adamantly denies that things took place in the way that, quote, this young woman says.
Yeah.
He also says that the couple is splitting up after, quote, a very brief marriage.
Yeah.
But they actually don't split up. They actually stay together. They're still together.
Really?
They're still together, these two. It's crazy. She told police that he twisted her arm, he struck her in the head, slapped her, and when she tried to run away, he grabbed her and dragged her across the room while telling her he would kill her.
Yeah.
Something
tells me this has happened again since then.
Police arrived and found his wife with cuts and bruises and all that sort of thing. He's charged with third-degree assault altogether.
Man, what's that all over your face? Oh, this is he put his respect on my face.
Respect. Don't you know what respect is? Look at it.
He put some respect on my face.
This is a deep respect here. This is more of a superficial respect. But this, you can see how deep his respect goes.
See how you can see my teeth through my cheek?
Down to the bone. So federal appeal, what they end up doing here is they vacate his sentence.
Yeah.
And they resentence him to 18 to 24 months in prison.
Yeah.
But they say that he served probation pending that appeal, and they're calling that time served, and that's about 18 months.
Okay.
So the feds are pissed off because they say, quote, the court effectively relieved Bowe of any obligation to serve a term of imprisonment.
Yeah.
So they're going to appeal again.
Okay.
Say that's not quite right. July 13th, 2001. Finally, a Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals rules that the trial court erred in considering Bowe's diminished mental capacity from beating sustained in the ring when handing down the sentence.
Okay.
Trial court was ordered to either impose 18 to 24-month prison sentence mandated by the plea agreement or take the case to trial.
Oh, shit.
So either one. It says, here's a quote from the three-panel judge of appeals, quote, this matter is remanded with instructions that the district court determine whether Bowe's guilty plea should be set aside or whether he should be required to comply with his agreement to not seek or argue for a departure from the sentencing guidelines. He's going to fucking prison. October 30th, 2002, court rules that Bowe will serve his 18-month prison term and not get time served for probation.
Yeah.
So January 17th, 2003 is the official resentencing. He's there. He's sentenced to 18 months in prison. Later sentences were rejected, of course. February 2nd, 2003, there is a non-fluff piece about him going to prison. They're just talking about, this sucks. What a shit life for you. He says, in their own words, quote, I miss boxing. I miss everybody and everything. I miss the attention. If somebody tells you that after being champion you're not going to miss the attention, he's lying to you. No shit.
I miss being famous and
I
loved.
miss it and rich.
Yeah.
March 8th, 2003, he's preparing to report for prison when Prince George police were called to his home in Port Washington. Officers say they found his wife, Terry, and their 2 children and a family friend all in hysterics with what appears to be injuries to their necks and faces.
You mean respect?
Respect. They do not understand that. I was going to say, with respect on their faces and necks.
So much respect sprinkled all over them.
Got a lot of respect on the back of your neck there. Did he grab you? Bowe had left the scene, but it only took police 10 minutes to find him driving around nearby. They arrest him.
He's out there looking for more people to respect.
He's respecting people. There's photos of all 4 of these people showing they had respect also on their wrists and on their necks. And there was respect on the boys, too. So now he's sitting in fucking prison, or he's sitting in jail. He's awaiting going to prison. He knows he's going to prison, and he can't help but beat these people more after he's already beat her once.
He's going to prison for respecting them, and now he's going to go get more time for respecting them.
It's fucking ridiculous. So now he's sitting in his mansion. Nobody's there.
Yeah.
He's still sitting. He's got his ankle bracelet. You know what I mean? His dog is shit all over the floor, and he's like, God damn it. He called somebody to fix it. They knock on the door. He opens it up. It's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer. He's right there, and he says... How is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? You were the heavyweight champ of the world. You understand what that means? You beat Evander Holyfield. He's got a fucking head like a cement block, and you beat him. Now you come over. You show respect for your wife.
Right.
You respected Holyfield over the course of 3 fights, too. Now you respect your fucking wife. That's not how you do it. What's wrong with you? By the way, your dog's a fucking asshole. You've been treating it way wrong. Don't give it that kind of food. It's going to give it the shits. I'm telling you that right now. Don't pet my fucking dog, okay? You're going to mess him up. I got him trained very special.
Don't respect my dog.
I got to go. Yeah, don't respect him, all right? Stay. Don't you show me no respect. Get away from me. I got to go now. Get out of here. I got to go. And poof, in a cloud of dog shit and marinara sauce, he disappears. He's gone.
Great.
April 3rd, 2003, the body of James...
So fucking silly.
It's so silly. The body of James Miller, the fan
Real
man...
quick, if we hadn't gone to South by Southwest, that would have never happened.
That would have never happened.
So thank you, South by Southwest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, South by Southwest,
you
for
guys
giving us Bobby Colorado.
An amazing character.
And we have a great small-town murder case coming up from that same town that we found, which is so much fun. April 3rd, 2003, the body of James Miller, who is the fan man, who the parachute guy, is found in the woods in Alaska.
With respect all over it?
By bear hunters 6 months after he went missing.
Oh, shit.
He went missing in September. He apparently chose a spot where he was not likely found. He attached a nylon strap to a tree and to his neck and hung himself and he dangled there with great respect.
Wow.
Yeah. So... June 5th. I don't know why I had to tie that guy up, but it's interesting.
Well, he needed to be told. We needed closure. He ruined a fucking fight.
He did. He ruined a fight. I think he was a World Series one time. 86 was it World Series?
Didn't he fly into the Super Bowl halftime or some shit, too?
Back in the day before they would have. Now they would just shoot him in the midair.
It'd be over.
June 5th, 2003, he goes to court for second-degree assault against his wife, Terry. This is when he's already serving federal prison time at this time. He's in prison. The prosecutor shows pictures of everybody's respect all over them. She tries to get a 911 tape introduced, but it's blocked.
Yeah.
His attorney says that Bowe didn't respect anybody and that everything was fine and he didn't hurt anybody. No, he didn't hurt anybody. He says the only reason the case went to trial was because of his fame.
Yeah.
He says the Bowes are happily married and that Terry Bowe called him several times a day to say that her husband didn't strike her or her children. His lawyer says this is Silverman is his name too, by the way. His fucking lawyer's name is Steven Silverman.
That's amazing.
Steven, silver-haired, middle-aged white man.
Couldn't be any more perfect.
Wow. He says, and listen to this excuse. This is as silver-haired as it gets. Quote, he's a large man. He's a powerful man. If Mr. Bowe were to hit a child or woman, they would probably be in the hospital, if not dead. Okay. It's the Cody East excuse.
Right.
Wow.
That man is a loaded weapon walking around. If he touches anything, it will be respected to death. That's what will happen.
That's still respected. Good. So the prosecutor says, we have to protect her. We have to protect society at large. That's why we went forward with the case. Bowe, it turns out, though, his wife and 3 other witnesses fail to appear in court.
Oh.
So he's cleared of assault charges. There's a 1-hour little trial thing where he's acquitted of the 4 counts, and the judge said, quote, you had to have one of them here. One person at least out of the 4.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't convict him with nothing.
And Mommy said, listen, you guys like this house? You guys like the shit you got?
Let's say
We're
that Daddy's
staying the
fine.
fuck home.
Let's say he respects us. That's right.
We're missing that court date for sure.
In jail, he starts saying crazy shit. He's in jail. He's earning 12 cents an hour, but he says, I got more than $20 million. I don't need any of this shit, blah, 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 blah. He says he's going to come back to boxing.
Oh, God.
No problem.
Please don't.
He's talking about Terry. He's so great. Definitely. He's also talking that he has discovered that Riddick Jr. is not his real son, he's saying. He says, quote, Judy fooled me more than anybody in my life. I've got the paper saying Riddick Bowe is not the biological father of Riddick Lamont Jr. Oh, man, I still love the kid. I've been with him for 17 years. But Judy, she broke my heart. As much as I didn't want to cry, I cried. I think a real man would show his emotions. He said that Judy just deceived him, used him as a way to get out of the ghetto. And the whole deal, he said she just screwed him over.
He's a meal ticket.
She's loyal, smart. The new woman says she's loyal and smart. She's everything that Judy could never be.
Okay.
So he's ripping her up.
She's a much better punching bag.
Yeah, she'll not show up for court when I beat her.
And she comes back.
He said that while he was traveling and fighting, Judy was going to the bank and spending his money when he was retired, and he said
that's called a fucking wife. That's what
they
do.
Especially when you're rich
you
and
idiot.
You're bragging about all the money you have. He said when he was retired, he was right on top of everything, and he truly believes that's why she wanted to leave, because then he was on top of shit. More like you're on top of her, being controlling and showing her too much respect.
You're telling her no, and she didn't have that before because you were gone.
Exactly. So May 11th, 2004, Riddick drops the lawsuit against Rock Newman and apologizing for claiming he stole money from him.
What?
He says, in their own words, quote, I was lied to and misled by a former advisor into thinking you had stolen money from me. You have now provided every detail about how my finances were handled. I understand now that I was wrong to claim you took money from me and that it was unfair of me to bring this action against you.
$55 million is a big fucking discrepancy.
That's not like, I think he stole $1 million out of 100. I think he stole half my money. That's a shitload. Newman said he wanted an apology. It wasn't enough to drop the suit. He said he was hurt by it and blah, blah, blah. 2004, he gets out of prison. He attempts to get a boxing license in Tennessee, but is denied due to brain damage.
God, Jesus.
He now denies he has brain damage, even though that was literally his defense for kidnapping his wife.
Right.
They had MRIs going, look how much brain damage he has. Now he's like, oh, fucking brain damage. What are you talking about?
It healed.
I respect my brain.
Right.
No. So September 24, 2004, Oklahoma doesn't have as strict policies here because he's fighting at the Fire Lake Casino in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Oh, my God.
He fights Marcus Rode, who's 35, 51, and 2. He's a very fat guy known as the Big Tuna.
Yeah.
Bowe wins by TKO in round 2 at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so he's 41 and 1.
Wasn't his terms of release not to fight?
While he's on probation.
Jesus.
While he's on probation.
Now
he's out of that, so he can do it. April 7, 2005, at the Pechanga Resort and Casino in Temecula, California.
You bet.
God, that sounds
Pechanga.
terrible.
It's a terrible, ugly little place.
He fights Billy Zumbrin. Fight goes the distance. I can't believe he can go 10 rounds. That's amazing. After all that time off, I got to give him fucking credit that he has that kind of stamina to go 10 rounds.
Exhausted from beating the shit out of his family.
Go box for 10 rounds. Not even ever getting hit. Just throw punches for 10 rounds. You won't be able to stand by round 8. That's amazing he can do that.
I watched Conor McGregor's fight.
Exactly. Bowe wins a split decision.
Yeah.
In that one, he's 42 and 1. Summer 2005, a Fairfax County, Virginia judge ordered that Bowe has to pay $2.4 million to a company called Commerce Funding.
Yeah.
Apparently that was he was funding this company, and he defaulted on financing for Unlimited Security, which was run by Bowe's friend at the time. He says that he got burned, and he says he thought he loaned the money to them. He didn't know he was supposed to give him money.
Right.
I don't know. My brain is fucking pudding. I have no idea. I am pudding brain like...
I don't know how to pay it back.
No, he loaned it to them.
Oh, he's like... Oh, and he didn't get it back?
Thought I had to... No, he's like, I thought I had to... He had to give more.
Oh,
he's
Jesus.
like, I thought I gave him money. But I guess not. It's crazy.
What the fuck is going on?
But he said it's fine because I got plenty of money.
I got tons of cash.
You heard him say he's got $20 million in the bank. Money. He's fine. October October 13, 2005, Riddick files for bankruptcy.
Yes.
Well, remember?
Yeah.
Financially secure for the
For
rest
the
of his
rest
life.
of his
Sports Illustrated,
life.
you cocksuckers. Listing more than $4.1 million in claims against him. His attorney says that the debts were tied to business transactions and relegated litigation and liquidity issues, which is all double talk bullshit.
Yeah.
He says that he wants to restructure his debts so he can focus on his boxing career. Holy shit!
You don't
here.
have one anymore.
He lists assets of $1 million to $10 million, which is odd.
That's a fucking big window.
Yeah, I would say.
That's a lot of.
Wow.
You only owe $4 million, so which one is it?
Yeah, fuck, man. Among his creditors, he's listed a $3 million claim from a Vienna, Virginia investment fund, $311,000 in claims from credit companies, $705,000 claimed by a California financial services company, and $5,400 owed to Prince George's County, and $104 by the water company.
Okay.
So it's right down to his $104 water bill. It's fucking crazy.
All the way down to filling up his pool.
God damn it. Fuck, man. You know, his fucking mom must have been pissed, too, because
She's got to be furious.
she was so proud.
Yeah.
She's living the Highlands. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing? You're
What did
messing
you
it all up.
do?
She's there. The brothers, Joey, the fucking wife is kidnapped. His kids have cord marks on them, and they're
Unbelievable.
scared. And Brenda's seeing people get drugged down the thing.
Everybody's getting
Down the
respected
stairs.
like crazy.
Everyone's getting so respected. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. All these people, but not nearly.
No way.
Not nearly as
What?
bad as I feel for Riddick Bowe, a 91-year-old man from Dover, Delaware.
Oh, that poor man.
That I found somewhere on the internet.
What the fuck?
You want to feel bad for him? You feel even more bad for him. He would be 91, except that he died on June 5th, 1993.
Shit.
So he's not alive, but I still feel bad for him.
At least he got to die before Riddick Bowe really fucked up.
And if you look up this idiot, you still get this poor bastard.
Jesus.
So sorry, buddy.
Fucking 25 years later.
Damn. 2007, his daughter Morgan is born. We got to have more kids.
What?
With Terry. Let's have more kids.
He forgot how to pull out.
Whew. December 13, 2008, SAP Arena, Mannheim, Germany. Another fight.
No.
Gene Pukal, he fights.
Jesus.
Fight goes all 8 rounds, and this is an 18-14-2 career fighter. Bowe wins by unanimous decision.
You bet.
43-1. This is his final boxing
Thank
match.
God.
Not his last fight, though.
What?
Not his last fight. July 2009, there's a big fluff piece in the New York Times. They keep coming fast and furious called Fighter Remains Champion Optimist.
Yeah.
And it's about how he's broke, and he's sitting in a parking lot in some autograph thing, signing autographs for $35
In
a
a
piece.
parking lot.
Yep, he says he's in a good mood, even though he lost everything, and he's still willing to box.
Fuck.
He wants to box.
Jesus.
January 25th, 2012, there's an article called, quote, Who Wants to Buy Riddick Bowe's House?
Sounds like a game show.
It's exactly what it is. This isn't his main house.
Yeah.
This is a modest 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 21-square-foot home in Hepzibah, Georgia. I don't know how you say that.
By the way,
Hepzibah, I think, is its PH.
That's way too many words for auction.
Auction,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, who wants to buy his house? It's called an auction, dickhead.
It apparently was foreclosed on
Yeah.
and will be auctioned in February of 2012.
So it's not his. It's the fucking bank's.
Not anymore now, but you can say, hey, Riddick Bowe once
Yeah.
owned this house and fucked it up
Right.
horribly. June
That's
14th,
how they sell houses. It's
Yeah.
somebody that mattered once
Absolutely.
shit here.
They
It's
shit
so
right in that
dumb.
toilet.
Right there. Right fucking there.
June 14th, 2013. You know where we are?
Yeah.
Pattaya, Thailand,
Oh,
my
my
friend.
God.
Pattaya, Thailand.
Getting lady boys.
Oh, boy.
What are you doing there?
Bowe is in a kickboxing match. At the
Galata convinced him?
Whew, the WPMF Super Heavyweight title card.
It was the other one.
Yeah, that's why I said Tillery. That's why I
Tillery,
said this
yeah.
isn't his last experience with kicking. He'll make $150,000 from the fight.
Jesus.
The Thai promoters did it to increase international appeal of their national sport.
It's called Star Power, dicks.
Yeah, you get the guy
We
who
get
draws.
it.
Yeah, it's held in an outdoor ring set up beside the beach in Pattaya. This article says that Pattaya is a Thai town best known for its seaside red light district.
No, it's not.
Where
It's best known for a hockey player sawing the head off a
where
woman.
Swedish hockey players will kill those red light district people. This is against a guy named Levgen Golovin.
Yep.
Bowe weighs 300 pounds now. He's
Holy
a big fat fuck. He's slow. He's just a mess. He looks so like he ate butter for the last 3 weeks straight. He's just bloated.
Probably all he had.
He's slow and heavy. Barely lands a punch. He takes an ass kicking. The guy just kicks his legs and shins constantly. I mean, he's not going to let the guy going to let Bowe get near him to punch him. He'll still knock your ass out. It's a big guy. Now he's probably got more power behind him too.
More weight need to push.
He fell 5 times Bowe in the fight, and finally it was ended by the ref after his last fall. It was a TKO in round 2. We have an in their own words on kickboxing. In their own words, quote, "It's much harder than boxing."
Is it?
You can recover from a headshot or a body shot, but when you get kicked in the leg, it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
My leg is still hurting.
Yeah.
I don't know how long
It's called
been.
a bruise, dipshit.
I don't know how long it's been. 15 minutes? I had a lot of fun. I'm going to do it again. Next time it's going to be different. I'll be back soon. And he's going to join the Marines right when he's done.
You've got broken fucking blood vessels in your leg. That's what that is.
Just go sit down. His opponent here shook his head in disbelief when they had told him that he said he'd be back. And he said, quote, "It would be a big mistake. It's not for him.
No.
He's too slow and a bit too old."
Yeah.
So, no shit.
I did that real easily. I can do it again.
Beat his. Did you see that? I barely broke a sweat. August 21st or 24th, 2013, he tweets, quote, "I want to be the first heavyweight boxing champion and heavyweight wrestling champion. I have trained hard with those bumps." So now he's saying he's trained to take bumps in wrestling and he wants to be a wrestler. But he changes his mind. That is in August of 2013. By September 20th of 2013, he is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, learning to be a long-haul truck driver. I can't fucking make this up. Between the Marines, truck driver, it's fucking insane.
Fuck wrestling. I'm going to get my CDL.
Shit.
What the shit?
His wife, Terry, did the researching and found a Cedar Rapids-based national truckload carrier, CRST, the company that's going to train her husband.
You've seen CRST.
Absolutely.
Everybody has.
He said, she said it has permit training, which is like a 3-day seminar to help with the written portion, and they teach it. He may need the full 2-week school, she said. He says, because I know we're going long on this, but this is fucking great.
This is so depressing.
When you get a famous person, this is what it is. You wonder why we don't do why don't you do Lawrence Taylor? Because it'd be 5 parts. That's why. Because I'd have to talk about everything. This is why I fucking do unknowns.
This is amazing.
In their own words, quote, "I was watching a program on television and saw former NBA star Karl Malone. I said, wow, that's a way I can get out of the house. Because all these years I've been retired, I've been in the house. So I said, why not me? I love driving. It just makes me relaxed. All my worries go away. I like a truck because it's big like I am, and I think I'll have a lot of fun working with it. I've always considered myself to be a regular person, so now I'm doing what regular people do. I'm just finding a new career. I've been sitting around the house for 20 years. I'm so sick of it. So I figured, why not drive a truck? I ain't got nothing else to do. Hopefully, I'll eventually open up Big Daddy's Trucking Company."
Oh, my God.
You fucking crazy
Isn't
shit.
that like he says? I saw Karl Malone. Doesn't Karl Malone own the trucking company, and he doesn't do it?
No, he's fucking Karl Malone.
He's not driving.
No.
He's not driving from LA to fucking
fun,
New York.
But he's not like I got a load that if it's not in Sacramento by 6,
then
my ass
mortgage
is grass.
doesn't get paid.
My ass is grass. I'm gonna get fired, man. I gotta drop this load off. No,
Karl Malone. That's hilarious.
Fucking ridiculous, man. So late 2013, he's living in the UK for some reason. So he goes from wrestler to truck driver, and then a month later, he's in the UK. They said, "What brings you to the UK?" And he said, "Let me get it straight. Let me get straight at it. I want to help the kids." Okay.
What?
I want them to put the weapons down and take it to the gym.
What?
For me, it's very important to show that there's another way. After all, if someone hadn't looked out for me, where would I have been?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where you are now. Huge criminal record, brain damage, same shit.
You might have HIV and died. If you ran with your brother, who knows?
Maybe. January 14, 2014, tweeting about wrestling again. He says, quote, How about my fans help me convince TNA Dixie, who's Dixie Carter, who runs TNA Wrestling, to give me a shot at wrestling. Spread the word, partners. Then the next tweet, like 10 minutes later, he says, "Put me in the ring with at Hulk Hogan and I'll bust him up and all his friends."
Holy shit.
Damn straight. That's what's up, partners. So now he's a cowboy.
He's got a catchphrase.
He's
partners.
got he's like, damn straight, partners.
That Hulk Hogan calls people brother.
Yeah, I'll call
I'm
him
going
partner.
with partners.
Come here, partner. He's going to do that.
There's more respect on that word.
So he actually finds a place to wrestle.
Oh, my God.
He is set to make his debut for the UK-based Preston City Wrestling Organization. While he was there for something else. Then he found this. He's supposed to do this on March 1st, 2014, but then they announced on their Facebook page that Bowe would no longer be appearing due to a disagreement with his agent.
Yeah.
So he changed his mind. He wants to get paid a lot here. February 26, 2014, Riddick pisses off a shitload of soccer fans.
Really?
He said, Liverpool fans to be specific. He says earlier in the day, he was asked why he supported Everton. That's his team, apparently. He found a team while he was over there. And he responded by writing, holy shit. Wow. He tweeted this, quote, I'm going to get sick of peeps asking me why I'm a Evertonian fan, as if they was real fans, they would know you don't choose to be one, you get chosen. What? If you an LFC fan, I hope you die. That's what's up.
Wow.
That's fucking aggressive.
Nobody does. NFL fans, like, some of them
die.
Fucking Philly fans don't say, I hope all Dallas fans die.
No, they do, but they don't say it publicly. Minutes later, he tweets, quote, do my EFC family want me to apologize to LFC fans? Evertonians have a say in what I say. We a team, partner. That's what's up. So he loves that partner.
He sticks with that. That's what's up, too.
Little while later, he said, quote, sincerest apologies to any LFC fans I have offended.
Sounds like they fucking told him, yeah, you need to tone it down with the hope they die part.
Take a joke, partners. We all die in the end. Ain't you see my second tweet? Go blue, love to all. Jeez. Holy shit. He's definitely tweeting his own shit, by the way. He doesn't have anybody else doing it.
There's no ghostwriter behind that.
Certainly fucking not. December 5th, 2014, the Boxing Hall of Fame announced that they're going to induct Riddick Bowe into the Hall of Fame. Riddick Bowe, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, and Prince Nassim Hamed. Yeah. Crazy shit here. So April 14th, 2015, he announces that he will tweet anything you want for $20.
Wow.
He has 451,000 followers.
Yeah.
He tweeted... Jesus Christ. He tweeted, quote, I will tweet anything to anyone. Just PayPal me $20, Bowe at RiddickBowe.com. That's what's up, Bowe.
I might actually PayPal him something.
I don't think he's still doing it, but he probably would do it anyway if you gave him $20.
I just want him to say Crime and Sports episode. This is the greatest story of my life.
He actually has a thing going now. I saw it a week ago. This is what made me look him up. I saw it a week ago where he was a big thing. I'll follow anybody back if you follow me, or if you retweet this tweet, I'll follow you back. So, like, you want Riddick Bowe to follow you, you do this. So you can, anybody out there, you can get Riddick Bowe to follow you. Yeah. It's at Riddick Bowe. Go find it. So here is what the ensuing $20 tweet said. Quote, hey, buddy McStudley, I'm going to kick you right in the giblets, and then you know the fuck's out. That's what's up, Bowe. Quote, I tell you now, at Jake Lee, yes, is twice the fighter I ever was. That's what's up, Bowe.
$20 got that.
Kenny Randall from Farmingdale once beat me up with my own shoes. That's what's up, Bowe. So it's people just making him say crazy shit. That's April 14th. April 15th, the next day, he is on TMZ telling everybody that he's not broke. It was just to have a little fun, the $20 tweet stunt. It's just to have fun. He's not broke. It's all good.
For $20, I'll tweet anything. It's not. I'm not broke. I've got plenty of cash. I'm flush.
His rep said, "quote He was just trying to help out his fans. They asked me to tweet things, and it kind of got spurred out of control. That's all it was." So June 14th,
I'll tweet anything you guys want. I don't give a shit.
Insulting shit to myself.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter. Denigrating, whatever. June 14th, 2015. He is finally inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York, which he fucking deserves to be. He's a great fighter. He's undisputed champion. That doesn't happen a lot.
With fucking blended up brain.
Oh my God. August 21st, 2016. Want another career for Bowe? He's had truck driver, restaurant.
Yes.
How about opening up a chicken restaurant?
Oh,
Let's fucking add that. It's a Bowe's fast food place in New York. It's on 116th Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard in Harlem. Sells rotisserie chicken and fresh juices.
What?
There's people outside like hawking, going, "Hey, come on in, meet the champ." Riddick Bowe's in there, and there's people walking in like, "Okay, well, all right, I guess I'll go meet the champ here." They have another one planned for the Bronx soon.
It's a piece of shit place.
Oh
too.
yeah,
it's ugly. It used to be like a massage parlor or something, and now he's selling chicken out of it and juices,
blended juice. So he's making smoothies. His manager, who's also his business partner, Ashley Kahn, who sounds like a lady who said, I'll take some money from this guy. She's called the, quote, fast-talking manager.
Oh, great.
She says, we have big plans. I'm hoping he can dress up like Santa Claus for Christmas and hand out turkeys. I want to make a special Bowe juicer. It could be like the George Foreman grill. Could be like the George Foreman grill. Just the same.
I want him to dress up.
Hand out turkeys and make a Bowe juicer.
As if being in prison wasn't low enough.
As if you're not scared shitless enough of this guy. Jesus fucking Christ. What a mess, man. This is a goddamn disaster. This is such a disaster.
And when
Holy
he's dressed
shit.
up like Black Santa, looking in the mirror going, fuck, how did I do this?
Swinging a power cord at the kids as they come near him, going, I respect you. Let me show you respect. Just swinging the shit.
Take
Come
this
on.
turkey.
Take it.
Holy shit.
So that's you figure that's going to be his career now. That's August 21st, 2000. So let's get into also that year, 2016. 5 former heavyweight champions and also cigar aficionados, Riddick Bowe, James Toney, Ray Mercer, who we know about, Lamont Brewster, and Chris Bird, who was a nasty smooth lefty, I remember, are hosting a launch party for their company's new cigar line.
Oh, God.
At Indiana Grand Casino in Shelbyville, Indiana.
They all put in $50 and now they got cigars.
It's named Heavyweight Champ Cigars.
Oh,
it
Christ.
celebrates 2 things that go together like peanut butter and jelly or steak and red wine, watching boxing and a fat stogie.
Oh,
it says.
boy.
It's not the first time the 5 friends have ventured into business together. They also have a nonprofit thing for promotions, or not a nonprofit, but a promotions thing that Brewster runs.
Yeah. Somebody was like, Don King's got billions of dollars.
Let's try that.
Let's do that.
The festivities begin at 9:30. Entry is free.
Yeah.
So, get there. Also, too, first 40 guests will receive a free cigar.
All right.
So you got to have that.
A shitty one.
A shitty one. May 19th, 2016, he was at the Fantasy Springs Resort Casino in Indio, which is a shithole Indio. This is part of a boxing fight card put together by Golden Boy Promotions, which is De La Hoya's. It's a 10-round welterweight fight that'll be broadcast there. Fans with a ticket to the fight card have an opportunity to meet Riddick Bowe, have a photo taken with him, and memorabilia signed at 6 p.m.
Boy.
So get there.
The welcome sign for Indio should just say, sorry, it's not L.A.
Sorry, gas is over here. It's fine. There's a
We've
gas
got
station
gas.
to your left.
Yeah. And an apology. A very long, you're
the worst.
almost there. I'm so sorry.
Jesus Christ. November 28th, 2016, Riddick Bowe is getting back into the ring to help a Salt Lake City charity. He will box 3 rounds against 3 different opponents at a Camp Costapolis gala. So he's fighting the camp counselors now. That sounds like it's probably like a worked wrestling thing.
Brutal.
But he's fighting camp counselors for charity now.
Helping the kids.
Oh my God! May 3rd, 2017, he was at Central High School in Louisville, which is Muhammad Ali's alma mater, with Ray Mercer. He's just hanging out with Ray Mercer now.
But wasn't that shortly before? Wait, no, I was going to say Muhammad Ali's death was just fairly recent. But that was last year.
This is May 3rd, 2017. Currently, he is
he just couldn't. Maybe he went to Muhammad Ali's funeral and just hasn't gotten home yet.
Maybe he's still wandering around, showing respect to everybody.
Just asking for $20 for tweets.
Currently, he's set to play a character named Big Daddy. So he's got his character Big Daddy in a film called Devotion, which is in pre-production. It stars Tom Sizemore, Kevin Sorbo, who's TV's Hercules, John Amos, who's the father on Good Times, Larry Wilcox, who's Ponch's partner on Chips, and Daniel Baldwin, who's the lesser Baldwin.
What the fuck? The worst one.
A crackhead TV Hercules, Good Times dad, fucking Ponch's partner, and a lesser Baldwin. What the fuck is that shit? And Fat Baldwin.
How
That's what
terrible.
you got. Couldn't even get Steven in this shit.
Who was the other one?
Steven, I don't give a shit.
What's the worst one? The one from fucking
Daniel.
Biodome.
Oh.
That's
Steven.
Is that Steven?
No. Steven's the one. Billy. Billy's the one in Sliver. Steven's the one in Biodome. Daniel's the douchebag who was in Homicide and the one who really doesn't get any work.
Is he the one that was in Marlboro Man?
I don't know.
The fat one from Marlboro Man.
Not sure. If he's the fat one, that's him.
That's the fat one.
Also,
the dummy one from Biodome is Steven?
I think that's Steven.
Christian?
Yeah, that's Steven.
All right.
That's Steven.
And the one in Backdraft?
I don't know. I hate Backdraft. Can't fucking stand it. Drives me nuts.
I want to Google, and I refuse to give that page the traffic.
No. So
the only one that matters is Alec. Everybody else sucks.
So he's going to be in that movie, and if you're looking to take a trip down to get some chicken and juice, don't bother because it's closed down. Closed down permanently.
There's no Santa Claus.
No Santa Claus handing out turkeys. No Bowe juicer. None of that shit. If you cannot get enough of Riddick Bowe,
I can't.
You can't. There's a shitload of autograph memorabilia out there because he's signed. There's too much to even list. He's signing
autographs. There's a bunch of shaky autographs somewhere.
Every fucking weekend, there's autograph pictures of him. But if you want to read a book, we have Amazon.com. You can get The Triumph and Tragedy of Riddick Bowe.
You betcha.
Paperback. Came out in 2011 by author Christian Vick. Right now, the cheapest copy used is $28.28. Cooking. Holy shit.
Does that come with a tweet?
Fuck, it comes with respect is what that comes with, and a tweet.
Jesus.
So that is Riddick Bowe. That's
God.
a long mess of a disastrous story, but it needed to be that long. Otherwise, we couldn't have covered it, honestly.
And if you want to find Riddick Bowe, go to who I follow on Twitter, because I'm about to follow him right fucking now.
So am I. You have to. It's messed up because I thought, should I cut out a lot of this fight stuff? And I'm like, but then you're going to go, why does he have brain damage? You had to show that he's fighting all these consecutive fights. All of this shit was necessary. If you like that story, I don't know how the hell you couldn't. Please give us 5 stars on iTunes. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions.
We'll take it.
If you want to be an even bigger hero to us and have us love you forever and you have our just forever love, and as we'll read this list off,
holy dog shit,
you can get on patreon.com/crime and sports. You can make a donation there, or you can do a PayPal donation. Our email address there is crimeandsports@gmail.com. And you can be like one of these amazing people who did that this week. Jimmy, hit us with the list. I know it's huge. We love you guys.
It's you guys. I don't know what spurred it or whatever, but the amount of people that reached out to help it's really incredible, and we really appreciate you guys.
It means the world.
Everybody from Leslie Chatham.
Hold on, if I could, I'd go out there. I'd go out there and I would show each and every one of you proper respect if I could.
Yeah, no doubt. So much respect.
There was so much respect. You'd have it all over your head and neck and wrists and arms. It'd be crazy.
Jesus. Leslie Chatham, Peter Aylett, or it's got to be Aylett. L. Camille Anderson, Bill Belichick's World podcast. I'm not sure. I haven't heard it yet, but I imagine it's all football because it's Bill Belichick's World.
That would make sense. It's probably about sewing. It's like you don't know if Bill likes sewing.
Or talking really slow. Or
never smiling.
It may be cutting the sleeves off of hoodies.
Cutting the sleeves off of hoodies. I can't stand Belichick, but then I love him because he does that to say fuck you to the NFL, which makes me go, I like that. That's good.
So Bill Belichick's World podcast. Check them out. Nathan Lewis, The Daily Pickle, Jennifer Tigney, Alita White found Barbara from our podcast, the other one. I'll talk about that
through
on the
family, friends, and it's crazy. Thank you.
So Alita, thank you. Rebecca Oxford, Kay Halfpenny, Lisa, Eric Madison, Lisa, or not Lisa, it's Melissa. God damn it.
Melissa.
How do I look at Melissa?
Like a foreigner.
Melissa Butler.
Hey, it is Melissa.
Melissa.
What's your wife's real name is?
Yeah, her name's Lisa.
This is my wife, Melissa. This is my Lisa.
This is my Lisa.
Yeah,
Melissa Butler. Melissa Butler, Marie Claire Reedy, Claire Tremblay, James Bond Simmons, who has maybe the coolest name that ever happened.
That is pretty cool.
If you get rid of Simmons, lucky. James, you're killing it.
Would drop
James
the Simmons,
Bond Simmons.
Yeah, big time.
Fuck Simmons. I don't know. That J.K. Simmons is a pretty badass
Yeah, that's
too.
pretty cool too. So you
got two cool people fucking mashed together. I'm sure there's more. No. Richard ruins all of it, so get rid of Simmons.
Yeah, that's true. Clyde Simmons, the old Eagles defensive end. There's lots of them.
I'm sure there's more in the NFL too.
There's
Simmons is pretty
lots.
popular. Krista Morris, Thomas Butler. There's another Butler. Heather Fowler. It's got to be Fowler.
Sure.
Patrick Stockland upped his pledge. Thank you. David Lofan. Hillary Price. Kimberly Baum. Byron Bell. Lori Malou. Malix. It's got to be Malou. That's got to be French.
Either way, the fact that you're struggling with it'll be worth the donation to them.
Lori Malou,
they like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Marissa Rebar or Rebar. R-I-B-A-R. Marissa.
All right.
Whatever. You know who you are now.
Yeah.
I made that very specific. Meg, fucking hell. I knew there was going to be one. Meg Marcinkowski.
That's not bad.
Marcinkowski?
Probably looks terrible.
There's a C.
It's tough. It's okay.
It looks brutal.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Meg Marcinkowski.
Thank you,
Estee Langlace. Damn it. I almost had that one. Estee Langlace. Thank you. Monj Sanja, he upped his. Thanks Monj. He's over in England. Man. He's terrific.
Thank you,
Jordan
man.
with a Y.
He also had a backup on Twitter this week.
Did.
Thank you, Monch.
Yeah.
Along with Andrew Bailey and Dana Grayson and
people.
Tamara, and there's just a bunch of them. Thank you guys for being cool and having our backs.
Yeah. Well, we're never speaking of that ever again. But
No,
I don't want to be specific with that and give
that's why I just
fucking
said
time.
Thank you to them for being cool and having our backs.
Thanks for being badass when somebody was a cunt and wasn't.
Sending me nice messages.
Mariah Noah, Tyler Marsh, Erica Chase, Rachel Ray, which is a great name because I'm in love with that lady. Right before we recorded this, we were talking about
you
her.
Like
and
her
now we have
stubby
somebody
dwarf hands.
I
You
do.
dig her.
And she's got an open marriage, and I dig that. I want her.
Look at you.
Charles
Unfortunately,
M.
you don't. For you, you'll get a lot of respect from your wife. That's all you'll get. She'll respect your ball
She'll
bag.
respect the shit out of me with a lawyer.
Yes.
Charles M. Speck, Ryan Anderson, Sol Meck, Greg Zidenek.
Ooh.
Greg Zidenek, Peggy
Laprell,
Charlie, Sarah Spence, Chandel, Whitney, Morgan Spink, Sarah Soap. We're almost done. Katie Callahan, Kimberly Baum. I already said you, Kim, but thanks for
it twice. Yeah. So nice. We like it twice.
Mark Piotrowski, Jen Richards, and Ben Richards, David Schapp, Robert Dye, Michelle Rupert, Robin Joyner, Michael Bretz, Kathleen Cassidy, Jordan Neverez, Jessica Landgren in
Jessica,
fucking...
you're the... Oh,
Thank
God,
you so
we
much,
love you.
Jess. You're such a darling.
You're our savior. We love you.
She's in Australia.
Yes,
that's where I was
thank
going.
you. You rock.
Melissa Hoover, Margie Coons. I know that's Coons because I'm not going to fuck it up and go the other way. Because
she posted a phonetic spelling of her name.
Don't you dare say. Don't you. Yeah,
don't
Cat
say
Howard,
yeah.
Or fucking something else that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Lori Jansen, Frederick Cook, or Luke. Was it Cook? It's Cook. It's got to be Cook.
Yeah.
Jane Greaser. That's awesome. I dig that so much. Last two.
It's
Narman.
like a Garbage Pail Kid.
God damn it. Narman. Ada Mirova,
Say that one for last.
Ada Mirova, and the last one is Stephen Rooney. Look at that
that's
one.
an easy one.
Easy. You guys, that 3 pages of people that give a shit about us so much that they're helping.
Thank you, guys.
So much. I can't tell you guys how much we appreciate it.
It's really beyond words.
That's the credits to this show. That's essentially the producers of this show.
That's what
today.
it is because
Thank
we're doing
you
it
guys.
for you.
We're
doing it for you, and you guys. Honestly, man, that's why this episode. Like it's so long and it's so thorough. Is like I literally was sitting there this week going, man, these people were so.
We can't half-ass it.
It has to be like so fucking good, and it has to be so much detail, and we have to give them more.
Yeah.
I feel like we just need to give you more because you keep giving us more,
and we give you more.
So thank you guys so much. If you want to get a hold of us on social media, you can do that on Instagram and Twitter at Crime and Sports, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, crimeandsports@gmail.com, and if one of these fine people wanted to get a hold of a person like, say, you, Jimmy,
me?
and show you proper respect, how could they find you?
You can respect me at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Involve yourselves, play along, guys. It's fucking amazing. And this week, I imagine we're going to get a tweet from Riddick Bowe telling us that we're assholes for this.
Dicks, and he's going to find us and show us all the respect in the world.
He's got so much respect and $20 million to fly to where we are.
Man. And I am at Jimmy P is funny. And if you want to try to copy and paste my last name, if you want to find me on Facebook, just do that. Don't be a hero. And if there's like a day or two where I'm totally quiet and you guys tweet at me and I don't like it or anything, when I'm like doing research mode, I can't look at that. I can't look at the phone. I don't look at the news. I don't know what's going. Literally, North Korea could be launching missiles at us, and I'd be like, I don't know, they're fucking coming because I got Riddick Bowe and his fucking marriages and his brain damage to think about. So
worse than that,
I apologize
media,
if it takes a day to get back to me or if it slips under.
You can stay away from it because the media just avalanches and bombards you with one story, and then we don't know that Montana's on fucking fire.
That's the other thing, too.
I had no idea
Montana was on fire. One of our listeners told us that and showed us pictures, and it sounds horrible. They're losing a whole bunch of forest and national park, and people's homes are at risk, and it looks terrible up there. They can't breathe. So look into that, too. Look into Montana.
The moon's not white in Montana right now. It's like a sooty, yellowish, orangey. Yeah. It's so terrible.
It's terrible. But, guys, thank you guys so much for everything. Thanks for hanging in. Stay safe, whether you're in you got hurricanes or floods or fires. or
It's all fucking going to shit.
If you're waist deep in water or currently on fire, we're down for you. We're sorry. We hope this can brighten your day just a little bit. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.